the key to the lock, we in our own zone. Make yourself at home, get to know mine on the inside. We can meet at yours next time. And you feel refreshing, lose control. You don't wanna go slow, for sure. We both already know your place is my place. Now my place is your place. Let's face it, baby. You know all the places. My place is your place. Your place is my place. Just face it. No one knows my places like you do. Your places like I do. My place like you do. This is
Welcome to the information age.
just pulled up to the house. Don't feel like getting out. I'ma just lay back and crack this window. I've been doing my best, taking a moment to rest, feeling stressed out. Give it a good, I put that on God. When it gets hard, I stay on my job like no days off, so you can go cold with that. Jump on, jealousy, my bad. Get away from me, 'cause I've been working all day. Can a nigga catch a break? Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can keep your bitter. I'ma make a better way. Hey, hey. Already got the world on me. Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can keep your bitter. I'ma make a better way. Hey, hey. Better way. Oh, Mom and Dad's only daughter, do I make you proud? Writing my life in lyrics to you like the sound. Seeking approval constantly. When it's my truth I own, I speak it, don't make sense now. Give it a good, put that on good. When it gets hard, I stay on my job like no days off, so you can go cold with that. Jump on, my bad. 'Cause I've been working all day. Can a nigga catch a break? Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can keep your bitter. I'ma make a better way. 'Cause I've been working all day. Can a nigga catch a break? Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can keep your bitter. I'ma make a better way. Hey, hey. Already got the world on me. Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can keep your bitter. I'ma make a better way. Hey, hey. Nigga catch a break. Better way. Oh, hey.
What's up? What's up, everybody? Peace, peace. Welcome to the Information Man Show. I want to say peace to everybody that's coming into the chat room. I want to say peace and respect to everybody out there at the BS3 network. Most definitely part of that network. You can hear this program live on Roku TV if you have the Roku TV package.
BS3 Network is now on Roku TV under BS3 TV. Download BS3 today. Network, changing the way you listen to podcasts.
All right, everybody. Cool. Yeah. So there it is. BS3
Tell the truth.
Network. I want to thank everybody that's in the chat room, people that are coming in little at a time. This is going to be a hell of a show today. I am going to make time to drop some links in the chat room one at a time for people who would like to come up and give their thoughts about this subject matter. Now, we all know, you all know, it's been all over the social media. It's like crazy, like wildflower, that Cat Williams had a very iconic interview with one Shannon Sharpe, who has a podcast, two podcasts, one called Club Shay, and he has a nightcap where he talks football. He brings a lot of people onto his show. We know him best from being on Undisputed with Skip Bayless. Now he's on ESPN with Stephen A. Smith. You know, I don't care for him too much. And of course, he had an NFL career with the Denver Broncos coming out of a historical black college. He had a great career. He's a Hall of Fame tight end. I got to say, Cat Williams did all the talking. He really brought the content. But I got to say, kudos to Shannon Sharpe for bringing the brother on and letting him speak his mind, whether you believe what he said was true or not. I've got some videos on this program today that will open your eyes and make you say, could Cat Williams be telling the truth about everything? Maybe a few things here and there, maybe a few things exaggerated, maybe nothing is exaggerated. So we're going to let the videos and the clips that I'm going to show you speak for itself, because whether you like Cat Williams or not really doesn't matter. Now, of course, people are going to use the fact that, oh, he's been arrested before and blah, blah, blah. That has got nothing to do with if what he is saying is true. Now, remember, Cat Williams, on some of his stand-up routine, he has said to us several times that there's some weird things going on in Holly Weird. He's told us himself that he did a routine where he talked about being at a Hollywood party and there were some things going on, if you know what I mean, that he looked in a room and did a double take and he couldn't believe his eyes. And this man has been in entertainment for some time, so obviously there's some things that he's privy to seeing that we don't see. So we already know that there's been an outstanding feud between him and Kevin Hart. I'm going to put him up here, right here, like so. We know that there's been an ongoing feud between these two. Cat Williams doesn't have much respect for him. And of course, Kevin Hart doesn't have much respect for Cat Williams. We know that they don't like each other. There's been some problems. You heard on the video, the podcast on Club Shay that Cat Williams says he believes that Kevin Hart is a industry plant.
Tell the truth.
Maybe, maybe not. You never know who's a plant, who's not a plant. Because from his perspective, he's saying, hey, this man wasn't on the circuit, the comedy circuit outside of Philadelphia. How did he jump ahead of all these other people that have been grinding before him? Then, of course, Kevin Hart came on, The Breakfast Club, and he said these things about one Cat Williams. Let me just let you hear this, because I will play this again, but let's hear this right now.
bad. My frustration with Cat Williams comes from, you keep pointing at Hollywood. Hollywood this, the white man, this, and this. When do you take responsibility for your actions? You had the shot.
Cat was in that position at one point.
You were the guy. Yeah. You were set up to be the star. You didn't show up to work. You fucked off promo shoots. You fucked off your promo fucking trips that they had set up for you. You became a risk to the studios, which is why the studios stopped fucking with you.
Why was he a risk?
He chose drugs.
Oh, okay.
Take responsibility for what you chose and say, you know what? I gotta fix me, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna stand up for comedy. Mm-hmm. So when you say Tiffany Haddish doesn't deserve or isn't really a comedian and these other women have worked hard, which they have. Mm-hmm. Shouts out to Melanie Camacho. Shouts out to Lou Nell. Mm-hmm. Shouts out to Leslie Jones, who are all underneath the umbrella of Cat Williams. Cat Williams, have you ever used your platform to fucking bring the people that were under you up? Mm. You haven't. So because you haven't, don't shit on those that now are. I've used my platform and I brought my guys and girls up. Mm-hmm. The brand of Kevin Hart is a brand that's expanded so fucking far, whether you like me or not. My presence in comedy will forever be felt because I'm a fucking boss.
Do you believe, ladies and gentlemen, that Kevin Hart was correct? Now, there was this rumor that Cat Williams was on drugs. They did the same thing to Dave Chappelle. Remember, Dave Chappelle was under the same scrutiny when he left the entertainment field. Now, people said, oh, he turned down $50 million. That's not what actually happened. According to Cat Williams, it was a little bit more than you think. And, of course, Dave Chappelle took a hiatus, and everybody kept running around trying to claim that he was on drugs. I want everybody to really hear what I'm saying today. I appreciate everyone in the chat room that's here, that's supporting the program today, because I appreciate you being here. I got a lot to get into, a lot for us to talk about on this podcast today. I see we got last call in here. Empress Goddess Kenji G is in the house. Jill's Chocolate Boutique is in the house as well. Okay. TV is in here. We got some good people. G.A. Pash Time is in the house. Thank you for being here. The Black Anonymous. Thank you for being here. Last call says, Cat in Hollywood a few years back. Cool dude. I used the ATM and he was posted at the curve. He was posted at the curve with two huge bodyguards. I walked towards him and said, what up? Respect. Guards were on alert. They're going to be on alert. They're going to be on alert. So you see that there is bad blood between Kevin Hart and Cat Williams. Let's go into this video. Cat Williams has done this before. He has made a pledge at Steve Harvey. He said, Steve Harvey, come on, man, let's get in the ring. We can box. We can do a cipher. We can do a comedy battle. Whatever you want to do, let's do it. He did the same thing with Kevin Hart. If you don't believe me, this is fair use with the purpose of educating, parody, critical analysis. This is fair use. Check it out.
I seen your stuff on social media, boy, I know what you do, but you do it for play. If you do it for real, here it is, Kevin. I got a show at your hometown in Philly. I'm gonna take my special there. On that stage, we can put whatever you want. A full court basketball court, a boxing ring, 2 microphones for a rap cipher, or you can get your ass dusted in comedy on that stage. But it's $1 million up for each one. That's $5 million, Mr. 28 million in Forbes. I'll be bringing mine in cash, Mitch. Bring yours however you want. And since you're not a puppet, don't bring no white people with you then. That's a $5 million bet individually. You can take it all, or you can take it part and parcel. This is the new movement.
All right, everybody. So right there, you see Cat Williams and Kevin Hart have been in a battle for quite some time. You probably have seen that video before all over social media. Let me also say peace and respect to Street Media TV. That's my man, George Makem. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. He's doing great things over there. And, of course, you know he's doing great thing with Urban Nerds Worldwide. Let's give it up. Now, in the title of this video today, I said, why is it that black comedians appear to or seem to be hating on one another? And, of course, when I put that out there, someone that supports this channel said, well, it's black people. Well, I was going to get to that by breaking it down like this. The manifestation of the hate or the back and forth cipher that goes on between black comedians or black entertainers in general is a deeper psychosis, which I'm sorry I have to say to you all, the deeper psychosis psychologically, in post-traumatically, is that I believe that in some very sad way that black people don't really like each other. And so therefore, because we don't like each other, which is manifested by the fact that we don't like ourselves due to a whole host of historical issues that we've gone through within our individual communities and how we see one another. When you have a black man that would do harm to another black man out there on those streets, and we would do harm to our own communities, when we have bigger enemies that are doing harm to us as well. And when you begin to grow up in a world in which black is seen as negative, you see negative things happening in your environment, you become sort of mute to it, comfortable with it. It becomes normalized as every day. You go down the street, you say, oh, there was a couple of gunshots. Now, this doesn't mean that in all black communities, this is what's happening in all black communities, but there are black people that grow up in communities that take in this sort of stuff. And therefore, disrespecting another black person, black man, black woman becomes normalized. And I think that the black comedians, whether it be a Steve Harvey, a Cat Williams, a Kevin Hart, Cedric the Entertainer, any of these guys, it doesn't matter. Even Ludacris got his name called out in this interview, and Ludacris did a rap cipher to get back at Cat Williams, who was making innuendo about some sexual improprieties, right? Because we know in Hollywood, there's been a talk about how people in Hollywood are Hollyweird, that you got to give up your booty. You heard Cat Williams saying he tried to keep his virgin behind. But in Hollywood, we've heard all these things from the casting couch of the 60s and 70s to, hey, you got to give up something to get certain roles. Are you willing to get involved in the rituals, right? Some people call it blood rituals. You got to give up a family member, or you got to give up something and engage in something. I think Denzel Washington has said, and this has been put out there, that that when he goes to Hollywood parties, he does not stay very long. He goes for a short moment and then he leaves, because if you don't leave, you stay there too late, that's when the devil comes in the door.
Tell the truth.
This is what Denzel Washington said. So whether you like Cat Williams or not, he said a lot of things that may have had some truth to it. There might have been some exaggerations. But at the end of the day, what I don't really like about the whole situation is that I don't really like to see the fact that you have black men who have accomplished certain levels in their careers, whether, according to Cat Williams, some of these guys haven't done a lot of stand-up. But I just hate the fact to see black men in particular in the 21st century, we're in 2024, black men fighting one another, going back at each other, and then going to a black man's platform, Shannon Sharpe, who, put this out there, allowed Cat Williams to speak his mind, which, hey, People should be able to speak their mind. But what looks bad about it is, once again, you have black people kind of hating, spilling the beans on each other. And it really looks bad to the larger society because it shows that we don't have any, we're not on code, we don't work together, that we're bickering and fighting. Now, I got to ask you in a chat room, by taking a vote here, you can put 1 for yes and 2 for no. How often do you see white comedians, white or other race of comedians or entertainers or very important people out there? How often do you see them going in a back and forth? How often do you see that? It seems that black people in general, we seem to always, no matter how much money we have, how famous we are or not, we seem to always be at each other about something. And we also seem to always be pocket watching one another, having some criticism for one another, and what have you. And of course, some of these things that people say have some ring of truth to it. But at the end of the day, how is it helping our people go forward? And these are people that you look up to. You say, hey, that's my favorite comedian. That's my favorite this. There's this whole back and forth about who's the GOAT. I mean, who's the GOAT? Is the GOAT Cedric the Entertainer? Is the GOAT Steve Harvey? Is the GOAT Cat Williams, Ricky Smiley? All this talk about who's the GOAT. We black people, we get into this competition where we all want to say, I'm the best. Because you know why we think that we act like that? Because in the larger society, we don't get validated. Black men, black people overall in this society do not tend to get validated for our accomplishments, no matter what they are, by the larger society, but we'll pump our chest around each other because really, when black people do this sort of stuff, we're not impressing white folks. We're not impressing the large. We're really trying to impress other black folks. Keeping up with the Joneses. Keeping up, you've heard this before. Now, I'm gonna say this and make it clear here today. The only person who has GOAT status as far as comedy is concerned, out of all of these individuals who will go back and forth and claim that they're the GOAT. I'm better than him. I'm doing stand-up. He ain't got a stand-up special. I mean, he said all these things, and there was validity to it. But what you see, once again, whether it's Cat Williams or anybody, you've got black people bickering over crumbs when the people who produce the shows, the people who own the networks, own Netflix, own the special itself, or give you the stage to put your special on, if they're throwing you 8 figures, what do you think they're making off of all these comedians like Cat Williams, who's bragging about what he's accomplished versus what the other guys have accomplished, and he stole my material and all that? All of our shit has been stolen at the end of the day. And the only man, in my opinion, within comedy, who can talk any shit about anybody, whether they're a real deal comedian, and can talk the GOAT talk, is the only one and only Richard Pryor.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
He's the only one who has the pedigree, the style, the record, the stage presence to talk any of this shit. Most of all these guys that you see in comedy today are all copying. So when you talk about people copying off of people's jokes and all of this, look, it's wrong to do that. But at the end of the day, they're all copying off of the real GOAT, Richard Pryor. At the end of the day, and that includes Cat Williams as well. You're all ripping off of him. You're all ciphering from him, whether it be a Red Fox, all of you. So this beefing back and forth, this 1, 2, 3, it really looks bad. And all of it is based on we may not, or we don't, or it appears that we don't like each other. You see this played out on YouTube. when people go back and forth at each other. You see it played out in the communities that some of you come from. You see it played out in how we look at one another, jealousy and envy over one another. Now, did Kevin Hart tell the truth? Is the reason the studios in Hollywood stopped messing with Cat Williams is because he was on drugs and he was late for this and late for that? Cat Williams, according to him, said that's not true. What do you all think in the chat room? Because I appreciate you all being here. I see we got Boogie X in the house. Alan Christian says, you got include Paul Mooney as well. Yes, because Paul Mooney is responsible for writing some of Richard Pryor's material. Now, that's another thing that Cat Williams was saying about how he writes his own material. But there are some that are going to say, like D.C. Curry, that that's not true, and I'm going to bring you the receipts. He said, I'm the only one. I'm the one that writes my material. Okay. And I believe, Cat, that he writes a lot of his material. But that doesn't, even if you don't write your own material, that doesn't mean that you're not a great comedian. That doesn't mean that you can't be a great comedian, because I'm glad you said what you said a few minutes ago. Do you know Richard Pryor had a lot of his materials, and when he did the Richard Pryor show, he had Paul Mooney write a lot of his material. Paul Mooney is responsible for a lot of Richard Pryor's material, or at least helping to shape a lot of his material. How many of you in the chat room are aware of that? Dominique Jones, thank you for coming in. JGT Massive, thank you for being here. Earl Owens, thank you for being here. Richard couldn't be the GOAT because he was dressed, he wore dress, gonna be their logic. Right, but check this out. A lot of these guys are wearing dresses. He is the GOAT. He's the undisputed GOAT. None of these guys can touch Richard Pryor with a 10-foot pole. So that's why I'm shaping and formatting this podcast based on the fact that, yes, Cat Williams is a talented comedian. Yes, he writes some of his own material, but then there's some things that are written for him. He didn't talk about that in the podcast with one Shannon Sharpe. I'm going to say again, all these guys have some type of gripe with each other, which is another manifestation, in my opinion, of how black people, for whatever the reasons are, whether we're successful in this, have money or have no money, we just can't seem to get along and work together. You have all these other people in these industries who are working together, and if they have beef, it's being handled behind closed door. But black folks, we want to be loud. We want to scream it to the world about one another. And as much as I like Cat Williams, I just, in some ways, I got a lot out of the podcast, a lot of what he said. These are some of the pictures of him when he got arrested. I got a lot out of what he was saying because there was some validity to what he was saying. But it was a shame because, once again, it was black men or a black man talking about other black men. And then, of course, those black men have to do a rebuttal to what he said. And this is why it's sad, because we already have enough black men being touched and molested in Hollywood. And it makes me scratch my ears. You see, because we got this sort of stuff going on in Hollywood. Remember the brother Christian Key? Here go a taste for you. Let's hear this.
But there are people that will
and have and will continue to, unfortunately, offer these things. And some of them are your heroes.
Boom. Now, who you think Christian is talking about? He said some of them are your heroes. I think he's talking about someone very powerful in the entertainment industry, maybe someone black, because he's a black man talking to his people, saying that some of these people are your heroes, people that you look up to, right? So what I'm saying is, while Cat Williams is talking about who's the best comedian in this and who's got this special and who don't have this, there's a lot more serious things happen to black men and black people in the entertainment industry where they're being asked to do things. Now, when Cat Williams said he was trying to protect his virgin behind, he's right, because this young man Keys, who's an actor, is basically has told us that a very powerful person in Hollywood was trying to get him to undress and wanted that booty.
Some of them are people who you're like, oh yeah, such and such is amazing, and he does this and he does that. Yeah, but he also does
this
and that. I
thank everybody for being here.
At some point soon, it's gonna have to come out. I've kept one of these on me since '05. Whether it's a keychain recorder or a pen, because most predators would check your phone. And once the sexual harassment started, I was like, well, I got to protect me, because I'm saying no, and I don't want this person, as powerful as they are, to try to get in the way of my work. So I started recording. So I have them offering me money to take my clothes off. I have recordings when I wasn't working with them or for them. I have recordings of them confessing that, the other guys that they have on the payroll, all of the above. And the difference is, the wonderful thing about confidentiality agreements and non-disclosure agreements is that they can't prevent you from turning all of those things over to the police.
There it is. I played that for very important reasons, because Cat Williams clearly said on the podcast that he's been trying to keep his virgin hole untouched. And I know people got a kick out of him saying that, but the reality is that what he said has lots of validity. And then you wonder why they keep putting black men, and I'm going to show you, I've got goodies for you. We keep wondering why they keep putting black men in Hollywood. They're always trying to mess around with our masculinity, trying to demasculize us, and trying to put us in dresses, and trying to put hands on us so that we can. So when he says what he says about that, Cat Williams, he is dealing in reality, not bullshit. Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Let's go to the first video. This is going to be interesting. Of course, he's got this issue with Ricky Smiley. This whole thing about, you heard him say it on the podcast, if you had a chance to see the podcast. If you have not seen the podcast yourself, put a 7 in the chat room, because you're going to get a treat, because I have clips from the podcast to fill in the holes of what you may not have seen or what you heard of but did not hear it for yourself. Remember, in the podcast, he said that Ricky Smiley was on set on Fridays saying that, okay, people have seen it. Good. Tell the
truth.
He said that Ricky Smiley was on the set of next Friday after last, whining and crying like a baby about how he should have the role, the pimp role, and not the role of Santa Claus. I mean, this is, look. It doesn't get any crazy. It doesn't get any better than this, folks. It doesn't get any, we got grown men. We got this whole back and forth is over which one of these men plays Santa Claus, a fictional character, when Santa Claus is your black behinds going out there working hard to bring presents for your kids. And then Cat Williams debate, if you really look at it on its very ignorant level, the whole argument is over who got to play a pimp when pimps are not pimps are not good for our community. Pimps are a detrimental. The pimping culture came out of them Superfly movies, them biopics in the 70s and 60s, making black people look like animals. Every damn character that a black man played had to be a pimp. So now we got two black men, one black man and Cat Williams, arguing about whether Ricky Smiley was trying to get my role to play a pimp, as if a pimp is some honorable character in our community, as if playing Santa Claus is something honorable, when we know that Santa Claus does not exist and we are the ones working hard for our kids. You just see, when you look at it on an elementary level, it's very laughable that it even subscribe to the channel. It's on a very elementary level. It's kind of silly that he's debating about who had these roles, both roles that in my mind don't represent black men or black people in an honorable way.
Tell the truth.
But we know it was a comedy. It was funny. I totally get it. Don't get me wrong. I saw the movie. It's classic. It's funny. But I'm just saying on a very elementary level, who really cares? It's written in history, Cat Williams. You played the role. Whether Ricky Smiley was trying to get the role or not, at the end of the day, that's the role that turned your career around.
Tell the truth.
And with that said, everybody, this is fair use, fair use, fair use. And I'm going to say it again, fair use for commentary, education purposes, critical analysis, parody. Here it is.
In Hollywood, you ain't say nothing. This man told you he had Cat Williams' role. He was gonna be Money Mike, and Cat Williams was gonna be the Santa Claus. Now three quick points. You mean in Hollywood they cast a 5'5" black Santa Claus that weigh 145 pounds? That's your story. Your story is the Ricky Smiley that couldn't even do curse words because he had a Christian fan base. He was gonna play the pimp. Why you didn't ask him why has he played a woman in more movies than he's played a man?
Well, I didn't know
He shouldn't be.
Now, that is true. Cat Williams made a point here that, yes, Ricky Smiley has played these sort of let's put a black man in a dress role. Same thing that Tyler Perry has also engaged in, being in a dress. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like any of it. There's Tyler Perry. Now, he said on this interview that the only roles that they tend to play, that they can't play a man to get themselves out of a paper bag. And that both these guys tend to always play like they are a woman. I'm trying to, take this in as easy as I can. It's not this is crazy because it's true that they both tend to be playing that type of role often in their movies. So Cat Williams had validity there. But my thing is,
information is power.
Yes, it is power. My thing is that, Cat, it's written in stone, brother. We all know that you played Money Mike. You played this character which is a stereotype character that's already been put into cinema with black men have already played these characters. Now, I know it's a comedy. I get it. But brother, as much as you make this big deal about playing Money Mike, this shit has already been done before you've been born. It's already been an image that has stereotyped black men. While you debate back and forth with Ricky Smiley. I'm just saying, everybody, these are roles that we've already seen before. It's just recycled and repackaged. We already know that Cat Williams played the role, and maybe there was some stuff going on behind the scenes that we didn't know about, but let's get back to this. This is fair use, fair use.
You wouldn't let a athlete that been on steroids talk about one of the greats? Ricky Smiley can't act because Ricky Smiley can't act. He told you the story about when the movie came out. Where did he say he watched it? At home. He wasn't even at the premiere. You telling this man, you stole that. Oh, so he could get his name in the same sentence with a great one. It is sad. He was just that bitter when we were shooting it. He told everybody, it should have been my role. Everybody on the scene. Why do you think no cast member has ever said anything?
So right now, Ricky Smiley has denied that this is the truth. Once again, I don't really like to see black men going back and forth, but it is what it is. This is what's happening. This is the world that we're in today. How many of you, let's take a vote. How many of you believe that Cat Williams is telling complete truth about Ricky Smiley in this role to play Money Mike? If you believe that Cat Williams is telling the God honest truth about this, put a 1. If you believe that it ain't all completely true, then you put a 2. It's up to you. Okay?
Tell the truth.
I'm just saying this is what he came out with. This is what he came out with. This is what he said. This is what everybody has gotten all excited about. I ain't gonna lie, it was a hell of a podcast, and he told the truth. He said some things that were true, that I knew were true, and then he said some things that you would have to do deeper research to find out whether it is true. And I've done some research today too. I brought some receipts on some of the things that Cat Williams has said that's been out there. What do you all think in the chat room? What are you all thinking is the case here? Let me pop up my screen here. Let's put this up here like so. We got Barnes in the house. He says he was initially chosen as Money Mike, but it was not set in stone as who was going to be definitely the character of Money Mike. Good point. I've got, just so you know, I have the video breakdown from Ice Cube, which I'll be playing on this broadcast tonight. And I think Ice Cube is the one that wrote this, directed it. And Ice Cube said that, yes, that they both, him and Ricky Smiley, both tried out for the role because he said that usually when you have a cast, every now and then it was normal for you to see how would someone else play that role. And when Ricky Smiley had a chance to show what he could do in that role, Ice Cube didn't think that he was the right fit. And he said that Cat Williams came prepared. Cat Williams brought energy to it. He brought a sizzle to the role. And that was all that was said.
Tell the truth.
Information is power.
That he would be Money Mike. And we're going to get to that very soon today. GT Madison says, find the Corey Holcomb response. Well, Corey Holcomb, I had a chance to look at some of the things he said. Corey Holcomb talked about wilding out and how wilding out wasn't doing as well until Cat Williams came on the scene of wilding out. And he told that story about how he made it rain with money and he ran out there grabbing some of that money, okay? And Cat Williams is right when he tells stories about leaving money for comedians that were up and coming. I'm going to get to that. I got receipts on that. Oh, I got receipts on that. And what's up to the BS3 network? Brother is in the house. Let's give him a cheer. And let's hear this.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV. You are now tuned to BS3 Network. BS3 Network, changing the way you listen to podcasts. BS3 Network is now on Roku TV under BS3 TV. Download today.
What I want people to do, ladies and gentlemen, you see this logo, the white logo to the side of me. That's BS3 Network. You got sports on there. You got commentary on there, relationship talk, a little bit of everything, social talk, religious content on there, all sorts of content that you can find on the BS3 Network by way of Roku TV. And there's also a YouTube channel, the BS3 YouTube channel, that's on the platform here. But you really want to get that full package, check out BS3 on Roku as well. I'm live on Roku, and my man, Ben, who runs it, is in the house right now. So once again, I want to give the brother a much-needed clap. Thank you. Let's go back in here. I've got more to go through with this presentation. I have lots of goodies for you. Don't go nowhere. Yo, 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 good brother. What's going on, William? Wow, Williams 454. Thank you for being here. We've got the divine perfection in the house. She says, I'm confused as to what he said wrong, and half of what was said we have known. I'm happy they're speaking out. Now, that's where I agree with you too, sister. I said that. We know that Cat Williams and a few other people have made mention of these things. Today, what I'm attempting to do is to crystallize this in terms of you're going to hear both sides today. You're going to hear with the receipts that I have, people saying, okay, he's correct. People saying, nah, he ain't correct. This is some BS. But we know that a lot, I'm saying right now, there's a lot of what Cat Williams said in that podcast with Shannon Sharpe that was 100% crystal spot on. That's what I'm saying. And I appreciate you. We got Big Bad Bull in the house saying share. Yeah, share this video on your social media, folks. Get more people over here. If you can, pull out your cell phone. If you're watching me on your cell phone, all you got to do is hit the share button. You can share it to Facebook. You can share it to Twitter right now. Wherever you are. If you're on your desktop, your tablet, hit where it says share. You can share it out right now and still stay on the content. Let's go over here to Marcus Antonio. If I'm saying the name correct, he says, I do appreciate when the people in the limelight and holy Hollyweird expose the evil and the dark nature of the beast. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. 100%. Jill's Chocolate Boutique, Happy New Year's to you. Happy New Year to Empress Goddess, who's in the house right now as well. And I got my man, George Frazier. GA is in the house. Thank you for being here. And let's move on with the presentation at hand because I have so much more to show you. These are clips that you've seen, but I'm going to put it in a context for the program today that you will appreciate. So we know that there's this issue between him and Ricky Smiley. Ricky Smiley went on his radio show, had his agent on the show with him, confirming that he was up for that role. But Ice Cube confirmed that he wasn't good in the role, which actually, my God, would confirm what, oh my God. It would confirm what Cat Williams said in that interview when he said that Ricky Smiley can't act.
with a great one. It is sad. He was just that bitter when we were shooting it. He told everybody, it should have been my role. Everybody on the scene. Why do you think no cast member has ever said anything?
Wow. Wow. That's fair use. Fair use with the purpose of educating, critical analysis, parody. Wow. He goes on some more about Ricky Smiley, and he goes into talking about Cedric the Entertainer. This is good stuff. Here we go.
So that's why, because when we released that clip and he said that, you responded because he said he was supposed to play Money Mike and you were supposed to play Santa Claus.
An outright lie.
So
that he knows is a lie.
So why would he say it?
Because he's a liar. Nobody knows why liars lie. And that's why I had to come on the program. Cedric did the same thing. Cedric told you when you asked him, did you steal Cat Williams' joke? Yeah. He said, it don't line up. How it don't line up that I did it on TV in 2018? You came to see me at the Comedy Store do it in 2019. And then...
Did you hear that? He gets on Cat. He talks about Ricky Smiley. And then you got Cedric the Entertainer. There's been a battle. Now, originally... the Kings of Comedy, let me remind you of this. You might all already know about this. But originally, Bernie Mac was a part of the Kings of Comedy. And when Bernie Mac passed away, they tried to, the same guys that he doesn't get along with, which are these guys right here, the Cedric the Entertainer, Steve Harvey, who personally I've never been a big fan of Steve Harvey, but that's just me. And of course, D.L. Hughley, Cat Williams said that they tried to make him a part of the Kings of Comedy. But Cat Williams refused to be a part of the Kings of Comedy because he felt that they shitted. Particularly, he said Steve Harvey shitted on Bernie Mac.
Tell the truth.
That Steve Harvey was jealous of Bernie Mac. That at first, Steve Harvey was getting all the television roles in Hollywood. He was getting all the TV stuff. And then all of a sudden, Bernie Mac began to blow up and surpass him. And that, according to Cat Williams, that Steve Harvey was running behind the scenes, trying to get Bernie Mac's role in Ocean 11.
Tell the truth.
How many of you out there, if you are aware of this information that I just stated, are you aware of this information by putting 7s in the chat room? Bernie Mac was starting to surpass all these dudes, got very popular, started getting more TV opportunity than Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey was backbiting behind his back to get his roles in movies, trying to get the Ocean's 11 position. So we know that Cat Williams is a true speaker in these regards, because that's a fact. Thank you, everybody. That's a fact.
Tell the truth.
I just want to lay that out. As I get ready to go into this or continue this next clip. This is fair use with the purpose of critical analysis, parody, and news reporting.
On the Kings of Comedy. Like, what doesn't line up? This is a televised joke that Mark Curry helped me punch up and get to the level that it was. The same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had. Now Steve got a sitcom where he the principal and he wear a suit and And then he gets this high top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business. And it's a man unit. Then you ask him, why you not a movie star? High top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business. And it's a man unit. Then you ask him, why you not a movie star? I didn't want to be a movie star. This the same Negro that hated on Bernie with this same thing. I didn't want to be a movie star. No, you couldn't be a movie star. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them asks for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good, old baby, and look like Mr. Potato Head. There ain't none. You would have to have rain.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I hate to see black men having to go after other black men, but we have to be honest that this is true. What are your thoughts about what Cat Williams had mentioned in that regard? If you agree with Cat Williams in that regard, I want you to put sevens in the chat room. Let me know what your thoughts are to the chat room with it. What's going on, Reckless Ray? What's going on, my man? Thank you for coming over. Yeah, the Mr. Potato Head really got me. What are your thoughts? Do you feel that Cat Williams, whether you didn't like his approach to doing this or not, is there some validity? Because it is true that he was backbiting behind Bernie Mac, and Cat Williams said in this interview that they were trying to bring him into the fold to be a part of Kings of Comedy, but he said his principles wouldn't allow him because he didn't like how they shitted on Bernie Mac. Dominique Jones is in the house, and he says 7. Much respect to you. Barnes says this. He told the truth disrespectfully, though. Yes, but he told the truth. He told the truth. I have to be honest. Told the truth. Earl Owens, thank you for coming over. Miss, let me see what we have here. Oh, what's going on? Miss Fugo, what's going on? We'll give you a clap. Thank you for the 7, my sister. MS. Oh, we got the last call. Who? Let me see. Last call says, I agree. He needs to step. And then we got my man Mike B in the house. So you all, it looks like everybody is saying, hey, maybe his approach is a little rough or behind the edges, but we all know that he is speaking a lot of truth, and we cannot deny that.
Tell the truth.
Because I knew these things myself. We got, let me see. Killings in the house says, I always said he looked like Mr. Potato Head. Okay. And then Jonathan Kidd's in the house. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Let's see what you're saying here in here, good brother. Happy New Year to you. Cat just responding back to everything negative said about him. Now, Jonathan Kidd, I'm glad you said that, because if I'm not mistaken, Cat Williams, just to let you all know, Cat Williams has been sitting back for a very long time while these guys have been talking about him. So I think that one of the reasons why, if anything, why he came so strong for these guys is because he's had time to sit back and listen to things that they said about him. And if you notice, when he went on the podcast with Shannon Sharpe, that to me, it appeared that he had a lot to get off his shoulders because he had to sit back and listen to people say things about him that may not have been true for years. And guys, like he said, that came on Shannon Sharpe's podcast and said things that he simply did not agree with and felt that were taken out of context. So even though a lot of these guys are jumping out the window and now doing their rebuttal videos, keep this in mind. They were talking about Cat. first. And then Cat had to rebuttal. Now, of course, we know that Cat's been having a battle off and on against Kevin Hart. Now, we know that. That's been documented. And Kevin Hart, I'm going to play it again. I played this for people that were here earlier. Some of you might not have been here to hear this. I'm going to play this part again as I move on in the presentation. Here we go.
Bad. My frustration with Cat Williams comes from, you keep pointing at Hollywood. Hollywood this, the white man, this, and this. When do you take responsibility for your actions? You had the shot.
Cat was in that position at one point.
You were the guy. Yeah. You were set up to be the star. You didn't show up to work. You fucked off promo shoots. You fucked off your promo fucking trips that they had set up for you. You became a risk to the studios, which is why the studios stopped fucking with you.
Why was he a risk?
He chose drugs.
Oh, okay.
Take responsibility for what you chose and say, you know what? I gotta fix me, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna stand up for comedy. Mm-hmm. So when you say Tiffany Haddish doesn't deserve or isn't really a comedian and these other women have worked hard, which they have. Mm-hmm. Shouts out to Melanie Camacho. Shouts out to Lou Nell. Mm-hmm. Shouts out to Leslie Jones, who are all underneath the umbrella of Cat Williams. Cat Williams, have you ever used your platform to fucking bring the people that were under you up? Mm. You haven't. So because you haven't, don't shit on those that now are. I've used my platform and I brought my guys and girls up. Mm-hmm. The brand of Kevin Hart is a brand that's expanded so fucking far, whether you like me or not. My presence in comedy will forever be felt because I'm a fucking boss.
Do you agree with Kevin Hart that Cat Williams did it to himself based on drug substances abuse? Now, Cat Williams, like I said before, he's had to sit back and hear people say things about him. And Cat Williams said in that interview on Shannon Sharp's club, Shay Shay, that he was not on drugs or has he been using drugs. Now, that's what Cat Williams said in the interview. Let's move on. Let's go forward. I just want to, if you believe Cat Williams, if you believe what Kevin Hart said, then you can make it known in the chat room. You can hit a 1. If you don't believe him, you can hit a 2. If you can believe that Cat Williams was on substances, you can say, hey, I believe he was or not. We know things do happen. But according to Cat Williams, he said, hey, I wasn't on any substances. This is what they make up. This is what Cat Williams was talking about. Now, remember he talked about how this is another controversial. This is coming out of the mouth, not only the mouth of Cat Williams, but out of the mouth of Mark Curry, who I actually met. He's from Oakland. When I was in college, both him and what's the other man who played one? What's the other man? Oh God, he did a comedy. He did a comedy show at my college, and the organization that I was a part of, we did security. It was him and Jamie Foxx. This is when Jamie Foxx was fresh off of being on In Living Color. And remember, Mark Curry had a show called Hanging with Mr. Cooper. Y'all remember Hanging with Mr. Cooper? If you do, put 7s in the chat room. Mark Curry really kind of blew up back in the day. And Mark Curry came out of his own mouth and said that Steve Harvey stole material for him. Just like Cat Williams is saying that Cedric the Entertainer stole one of his routines. Let me just hear this. Let's just hear this one more time, just a little bit of this, so I can show you an explosive video here.
High top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business, and it's a man unit. Then you ask it, why you not a movie star? I didn't want to be a movie star. This the same Negro that hated on Bernie with this same thing. I didn't want to be a movie star. No, you couldn't be a movie star. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them asks for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good, old baby, and look like.
So as you hear right there, he's talking about there's scripts, and a lot of those scripts did not go to Steve Harvey. He's saying that Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, they're saying that I don't want to be a big star when in fact that's the goal. You want to make movies. You want to be a star in this game of entertainment. Now, this is the part that I think I need to show right here. I think this is the one right here. This is for fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use, purpose of educating, parody. Here we go.
Truth don't need motivation. I'm just saying I can't let these dudes lie. Cedric's sitting here telling you why he ain't a movie star. He over here look like a walrus. You didn't say nothing. He can't even get his arms off his stomach sitting over here. Why I'm not a movie star. What?
It's a situation.
He never wrote anything. Remember when Cedric...
Cat Williams said, and I hate this, man. I hate to see these brothers going at each other, but I gotta... He said that Cedric, let me put this up here. Cedric the Entertainer was sitting on that same couch like a walrus with his hands.
Remember, when Cedric the Entertainer starts, he's supposed to be singing, dancing, and telling jokes. That's why he's called the Entertainer.
Right.
We found out he can't sing, can't dance, and doesn't write jokes. He did 4 comedy specials. They're so bad, Shannon, they're not available on Netflix or Tubi. Can I say that again for the audience? They're so bad that they're not available on Netflix or Tubi.
Wow. You don't think Sam's a good comedian?
The world doesn't think that, sir. I have 12 comedy specials. He has 4 specials that are not.
Now, is that true what Cat Williams was saying? Is it true that you can't find any of Cedric the Entertainer's stand-up, which I think he's done 4 specials. He was right about that, that you can't find those specials either on Tubi or Netflix. Is that correct? I'm asking you.
Available on Netflix or Tubi.
Whoa. I want to get back to Steve or Mark Curry, who had, wow, that was, I mean, you know, you look at these guys in movies, you see them in stand-up, and you think that, hey, you know, all these brothers are working together, they're getting along with each other, and it's really sad to see that
Information is power.
It's really sad to see that there's these problems internally with the way these guys interact with each other or the way they see each other. Now, Cedric the Entertainer had a rebuttal to what Cat Williams said on the Club Shay Shay podcast. He had a rebuttal, and I got to say, he did this rebuttal in a respectful way. He didn't call Cat Williams out of his name. He didn't say that Cat Williams is a damn liar, but he basically said he didn't know what this guy. Now, I want y'all to be the judge of this for yourself. Cedric the Entertainer said, I don't know what this guy is talking about. Now, when you listen to this, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to be honest by putting either a 7 if you believe what he's saying, or a 2 if you don't believe a damn thing that Cedric the Entertainer is going to say to you in this video that I'm going to show you right here. Let's hear it right now.
What up, y'all? What's up? It's I'm gonna address this Cat Williams thing one time, man.
Tell the truth.
I saw people on there really commenting about that. Look, I have no idea what this brother is talking about.
Boom. Just like I said, he says, I have no idea what Cat Williams is talking about. However, there's video out there that shows Cat Williams in a seat doing the routine with the car, and Cat Williams says what Cedric the Entertainer did is he changed it to a spacecraft, but it was the same routine that Cat Williams said that Mark Curry helped him punch up or work on to make it better. And you can go back and look at old archives. I think there's videos on YouTube where you have both routines side to side. And I got to be honest, it looks very, 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 very
Tell the truth.
similar.
Tell the truth.
Information is power.
To what Cat Williams is talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear this again.
What up, y'all? What's up? It's I'm gonna address this Cat Williams thing one time, man. I saw people on there really commenting about that. Look, I have no idea what this brother is talking about. That joke is over 30 years old, close to 30-something years old. I did the Kings of Comedy in 1999. Probably have been doing that joke 6-7 years before that. I don't even know if Cat was doing comedy then. So, you know, again, he's talented.
Now, right here, he says he didn't even know. This is where the lie starts to creep out. He says he didn't even know whether Cat Williams was doing comedy, but Cat Williams says that this man came to the Comedy Store, I think the Comedy Store where he's performing, went into his dressing room and said, hey, you did a damn good job with that joke. This is what is power. This is what Cat Williams said on the podcast, that this man actually came in his room or came behind the scenes and told Cat Williams what a great job he did on that joke. And Cat Williams said that he was on Comic View and that they used that joke, that scene, as part of the promo for the show. Ladies and gentlemen, if you were alive and you remember, is Cat Williams telling the truth? Was he on the promo? Did he do that routine? Is what Cedric the Entertainer did similar, or did he just straight bite it off of him?
Brother, I have no idea what you're talking about. I've never seen Cat do a space shuttle joke. So, you know, there may be something that he believes is true. I've written a lot of jokes. I've had a lot of comedians steal my jokes as well. So I understand if you feel, you know, slighted by that, but that's my joke. That's my joke, dog. Driving space shuttle to the moon, cigarette, cutie pie rocking in the background, parallel parking the space shuttle. It's my joke.
All right. Do you believe the words that are coming out of Cedric the Entertainer's mouth? Let's go into the chat room and see what he, ye, and he, she says. Or her, she. Please tell me Cat Williams stand up before 1999. Okay. Dominique Jones. Let's see. Barnes says, so push it back to 97 or 98. All right. So what do you guys are trying to figure out whether Cat Williams was doing comedy? Because I think what Cedric the Entertainer is trying to say is that I think he's trying to say that he did that routine prior to Cat Williams coming on the scene. But Cat Williams says that he did that joke back in the day, had Mark Curry help him work on it, and that it was Cedric the Entertainer who came in his dressing room or came behind the scenes and said, man, great joke. Who do you believe? Trap Vision is in the house. Trap Vision, definitely check out this brother's channel. He's dynamic, intelligent, and especially if you like watches. You like those watches? Let me get that in there, focus. If you like these watches, he does a show where he talks about watches, and man, the man knows his stuff when it comes to these to these watches. And many other subject matters that he talks about. But he says this: the space shuttle is his joke, but stole the concept of that joke from Cat. Okay, I see what you're saying. Well, that's what Cat Williams was saying, Trap Vision, that the actual concept of the joke was Cat Williams. But then what he did is, he, instead of using a car, which Cat Williams used a car, he replaced it with a spacecraft joke. So very good point. T-Mac 87 says, I believe Cat Williams information, man. Okay. All right. GT Massive says, look crispy good. Look crispy good. Okay. Jill's Chocolate Boutique. I like that head that you got on, sister. You look good in that the avatar. You're looking real good in there. I like that. Like that 2024 look. And here's Michael Foster. He says, look it up sometimes in the early 90s. Okay, but Michael Foster, was it Cat Williams who first did the routine using the car? And then later on after that, Cedric came out with the spaceship. But like Trap Vision said, it was actually, or at least according to Cat Williams and those of us that have seen him in his routines, he said it was his concept. Let me see. We got Kim Coleman in the house, and I believe the cat thing, he's speaking truth. Okay.
Tell the truth.
So we got Sister Kim Coleman saying that she believes that he is speaking nothing but pure truth. Let me go over to Bonnie Rose, who's a big supporter of the program. Bonnie Rose is coming in saying, good evening, information man. And everyone, thank you for coming in. We got Seabreeze 40, who says this is dangerous because it incites choosing sides. We have to stop doing this. We don't win picking sides. Now, Seabreeze, I agree with you that we don't win picking sides and that we need to work together and be on code. And I've also said that I don't personally like to see these black men going at each other. But I'd also said that Cat Williams has been setting back for a while, and some of these guys have been talking about him or saying things that he doesn't believe is true. Now, although we don't want to pick sides, we have to also stand on truth, okay?
Tell the truth.
And even though we don't want to pick sides, at the same time, we still want to know, we're still curious, and it is still about truth. Because the bottom line is, I stand on truth. And I want to know what I'd rather, if Cat Williams is speaking the truth, and even though we don't want to pick sides, I'd rather stand with the man who is speaking truth rather than the men or a man who is not speaking truth. That's why I ask these questions, because some of us have watched these comedy shows. Some of us may know that's not true what Cat Williams is saying, or that's not true what such an entertainer is saying. So even though we don't want to pick sides, I don't want to rock with a guy who ain't telling truth, because someone who's not telling you truth is not someone that we can trust. You see what I'm saying? You can't trust a guy or a woman in your community, or someone who's fighting for us as a people. You can't trust a person that's going to lie to you. That's all I'm saying. And like I said, I believe that there's things that Cat Williams is saying that's true, and there's some things that he's saying that might be exaggerated and may not be so true. But at the end of the day, it still doesn't look good that you have prominent black men in entertainment, of course, that are having these beefs with each other. That's the sad thing about it. And why I bring this up is because this beef continues to go on between black comedians, and it manifests itself. You know where it manifests itself from? The fact that black people in general don't respect each other, in some cases don't like one another, We're hating on one another because we have a lot of self-hate, which we project onto each other. And as a result, we can do things disrespectfully, like steal people's material, lie about where we got the material from, shit on another person. Mark Curry said that Steve Harvey stole from him in terms of material. And we know that this is all subjective because all these comedians borrow, take, steal material. This has been going on for decades. We know that this goes on for decades, but it's the principle of the matter. And I have to say, I feel something for Mark Curry as it relates to this, because let's hear Mark Curry.
He stole my material on his show, so I had a beef on He did all my Halloween material one Halloween. I'm watching, somebody called me and said, man, homeboy doing your material. So he did my whole Halloween run. And I know he didn't think of it. And this is true stuff that really happened to me.
And we couldn't afford no Halloween costumes. Hey, kids, please. Mama sent us down to the liquor store, put boxes on us. We didn't know what we were.
I don't know what we are. I don't know. She didn't tell us. I think we UPS, I guess. I don't know.
Every Halloween, I had the same outfit on. Every year. I just had a brown box. I wasn't nothing sad. I asked my father, could I have a new outfit? And he said, no, just wear the same one. And it was just a brown box. And he just told me to tell everybody I was the UPS.
You didn't have to do that, homeboy. Yeah. Right. So, motherfucker, you made enough money, bitch ass.
So once again, I hate to see black men of any background going at one another, but Mark Curry, as you can see in the video that I played, was very upset, not happy with Steve Harvey. If you remember, this is back in, you saw the clip right there, 2015, Steve Harvey's doing a similar skit. Now, once again, it could be Mark Curry's concept, and then Steve Harvey just changes a few things, right? But what do you think about that? Do you believe, in the chat room, that he stole Mark Curry's material on that particular skit? Because Cat Williams did talk about it. Now, Brother George, I know you said you want to send me a video clip. Try to send it to me, brother. Let me know if you've sent it already. If I can get it on the show today, I will download it into my system and hopefully I can pull it up. Just, you'll have to send it to me, of course. And if I can pull it up, I will make the effort. I'm looking at are you emailing it to me? How are you sending it to me? I'm pulling up email to see if you have sent it to me, if I can download it. Okay. Oh, I see. It's a YouTube video. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I may not be able to do that today. I don't think I can get it in my system right now. That video, let me see. Maybe I can play the audio of that video. Hang on. Hang on, everybody. I'll run the audio of that video through. Let everybody hear the audio. I still got more to play for you, but let me play this video. Oh, okay. This is Steve. Good looking out too, George. I appreciate that. Make sure y'all check out Street Media TV. I'm going to run this through my system and let y'all hear this. Give me 1 minute. And we're going to play this.
The dude that played in Green Mile. And walk in. That big ass brother that was in Green Mile, Michael Clark Duncan. I got a radio show out in LA. He was my guest this morning. This son is huge. His arms, 23 and a half inches. And so, how much they paying you? It's just between me and you, dog. About 10 million.
All right, I'm not gonna play that. I don't want all that. I don't want the music in there. I'll have to look at that video another time. Let me move on with the presentation. I appreciate you sending that to me, George. Let me play this. So remember, Cat Williams challenged Steve Harvey. Remember this video from back in the day when he called Steve Harvey out? I think this was in Detroit, where he called Steve Harvey out and challenged him. But let's hear it.
All this money y'all spent on them motherfucking tickets and talked about a lady in the audience for 15 goddamn minutes. That nigga should have talked about me the way I've been to talk about his bitch man. To a championship, my nigga. You see that nigga had to take off that lace front high top fade before he came out here to battle me, goddamn. I plays no motherfucking game, Steve. I'm a little nigga, I fight dirty. You did. You did, baby. What the fuck is he thinking about? He trying to copy off me and bring that ugly ass, sparkly ass tie out with a regular black suit like he was going to a funeral. Yours, nigga, yours. That nigga think I give a fuck. I give less than a fuck. Whatever less than a fuck is. You the one came out here and told jokes about if a bitch lick you on the left nipple, you buy that bitch a car. If that ain't the trickiest shit I ever heard. Bitch, you can suck my dick with the Holy Spirit in your mouth. I ain't buying your goddamn car. I ain't even gonna give you a...
So once again, that happened some years ago where there was a challenge between him and Steve Harvey. And you can see Cat Williams sort of roasted him, went in strong. I mean, at the end of the day, again, I hate to see two black men going at each other in their profession like this, as if we don't have enough enemies to worry about. And this is a bigger problem within some black communities, where we sort of have this this hate and anger appears towards one another in some of our black communities, not all, but in some, depending on the environment that people grow up in. There seems to be always this, let me try to overtake this other person or try to smoke them, roast them, whatever we call it these days. So obviously, Cat Williams went in strong on him at that time. Pretty sad situation. He went strong in on him. But let's go back to this clip right here. This is, once again, him talking about Kevin Hart, which has been the biggest back and forth that he has right now. Let's go.
Period. Every single movie that Kevin Hart did was a movie that had been on my desk. That all I had said was, just, can we take some of this step and fetch it shit out? And then I can
Now, this is where I agree with Cat Williams. In Hollywood, they often want to put black people in these step and fetch it roles, or they want to put dresses on black men, and they want us to be buffoons and step and fetch it like, and what have you. So that's where I have to agree with him, with what he's saying, his analysis and what have you, that is a truism in this place called Holly Weird. Let's get back to it.
Like, it don't need to be overtly homosexual, because I'm not homosexual, right? It doesn't need that to be funny, right? And me saying that and them going, oh yeah, no problem, and then going to give it to this other guy and having him do it just like it was and acting like I'm a bad person because I keep standing on my standard. But yeah, it's interesting, but I wouldn't change it for the world. Like, again.
All right. So you see, At the end of the day, Kevin Hart has gotten a lot of roles in Hollywood. Cat Williams' claim is that most of those roles were scripts that were put on his table. He rejected it and said, it's too coonish, too step and fetch it. Can you kind of lower it down here? And according to Cat Williams, if you believe him, he says that basically Kevin Hart took the script and went along with what they were. It applies that he went along with the step and fetch it stuff. If you look at it like that, that's basically what Cat Williams is saying. I didn't want to do the step and fetch it stuff, but they gave it to somebody that was willing to do what I wasn't willing to do because of my principles. That's basically where it's at. Now, when you look at some of the roles, when you see him getting on Saturday Night Live, Kevin Hart, I don't like seeing black men portrayed like this, right? Kevin Hart has the dress on, the hair done up. I don't like it. It's akin to what Jamie Foxx did on Living Color, on A Living Color, where you see Jamie Foxx playing the Wanda. I didn't like any of this stuff, folks. I didn't like any of this type of stuff. I don't like seeing black men put in this type of light. Now, let's talk about this brother right here, Faison Love. There's another battle or another back and forth. Once again, I wish this would not happen, that black men would not go back and forth with each other like this, but it is what it is. People are going to call you out, so you're going to give them a tip for tad. And he called out Faison Love, his role as Big Worm in the, is it Big Perm or Big Worm in the Fridays, where he was selling the weed and stuff out of the ice cream truck. And Cat Williams, my God, he really was going in on folks. Literally was saying that his role was not that good, that's why they didn't bring him back for the other sequels. And Cat Williams was basically saying that, hey, this is the business of show business. Sometimes they don't bring you back because you may not be that good. Now, that's his opinion, because there's a lot of us who like Faison Love, who like his, his comedy, or just, how funny he is. And then, of course, Cat Williams said that every time he's in a movie or some kind of show, TV or whatever, he's always having to take his shirt off. I thought that was very interesting what he said, but yes, most movies he is taking his shirt off quite a bit. I think the brother is funny, but let's hear whether you agree with Cat Williams or not. Let's hear what Cat Williams had to say. This is fair use with the purpose of educating, parody, critical analysis. This is fair use.
You can't just be Faison in every movie. Like, you just gonna take your shirt off on every movie? Like, why does it say that in your script?
Man, let Big Worm live. Let him breathe, Cat. Let Big Worm breathe. Stall him out now.
You having a natural allegiance to losers is not like you.
No, I ain't got no allegiance to the man. But you got to admit the role that he played, Big Perm in Friday now. You got to give him credit for the role now. Come on now.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
If what you're saying is correct, why wasn't he in next Friday or Friday after next?
His role,
it wasn't good. Sorry.
There was a lot of people that appeared in the first one that weren't in the second one, Cat.
I'm just telling you why. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that there's a news flash that there are reasons for things in a business.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, why would you?
So, ladies and gentlemen, I like Big Worm. I like Faison's character in Fridays. I liked his character. This is where I disagree with Cat Williams. I thought his character was great in the movie for what his character meant in the movie. I also have to say that I have wondered why he was not in previous sequels to Fridays. Now, Cat Williams says it's because he simply wasn't good. Now, maybe there's truth to that. Maybe there's not, because even if we think he's good, it's the people behind the scenes, the director, the producers, and what have you. And if anybody thought he wasn't that good, I think Ice Cube would answer that question, could be the man to answer that question, you know. So I find it interesting that Cat Williams would call Faison out like that. And Faison had a rebuttal to what Cat Williams was saying. Let's hear the first one.
Chimp Williams.
He calls him a chimp.
Chimp Williams. It's hard to address lunacy and hypocrisy, and downright ignorance. But it's so funny how many people think this dumb, stupid motherfucker is spitting truth. But that's the internet, I guess. You guys want to believe in something so bad. I guess you left God and now you believe in chimps like this nigga, who's an actual chimp, and you're not listening to what he's saying. He's actually calling for help. He's calling for help. None of the shit he says lines up with nothing. He runs a Fort something sub. This is where he tells on himself. He took a tractor trailer after stopping in a tractor trailer lot, a truck stop, and aborted that truck and went to Miami. He rode in the back of that truck with a stranger. Now, back then they had a saying, ass, grass, or gas. Nobody rides for free. Cat was giving up that ass to take that ride. Because look, a Greyhound only costs $20 to go, maybe for $50.
So here you have Faison Love, who strikes back and says, first of all, Cat Williams is a chimp. That people on social media are listening to someone who's a primate. See, once again, we're using these stereotypical words to define other black people by calling him a chimp. Now, I know that Cat Williams said some things about Faison that I think Faison took as a disrespect completely by saying that the reason why he wasn't in any other sequels to Fridays is because he wasn't good. Many of us feel that, no, Faison was funny and he was good in the movie. But that's the opinion that Cat Williams has. And, of course, Faison had the right to rebuttal. He had the right to clap back, although we don't want to see this. We don't want to see black men going at it. He still had his right to be able to clap back at whatever he felt that Cat Williams said that was incorrect. But I think a lot of this comes down, once again, I'm going to say it, to a deeper issue of whether black people really like each other, whether we tolerate each other, whether we respect each other, and is there jealousy and envy of one another? And was it really necessary for Cat Williams to throw Faison Love in this situation when he had a very small part in the movie and he was sort of new on the scene? And maybe there was some clash between these two guys behind the scene. Who knows? But what do you think? Faison, he also made mention about the story that Cat Williams gave about jumping on the back of a truck to go to Florida. Now, Faison made a good point. Back in the day, you could jump on a Greyhound for $20, maybe less than $50. So the question is, why would you? He makes a very good point. Why would one need to get on the back of a truck to travel to another state when you can jump on Greyhound for $20 to $30? At that time, we're talking about a different economy. The dollar was probably worth more then than it is today. He does make a valid point there. I've got more for you folks. Don't go anywhere. This one is going to be a hard one to swallow. Here we go.
Martin tried to put me in my first dress. When he had to go on his hiatus, he tell me, Cat, when I come back, I need you. You my young partner. You my brother in comedy. When I come back, just promise me that my next movie.
He says Martin Lawrence, who I love his comedy. I love what he did on the Martin Show. Hey, the brother was very talented. He was also in School Days. He's been in a myriad of movies. He said that Martin Lawrence tried to put him in his first dress. That, hey, when I come back, you my brother. We're going to do some police stuff. And then this is what ended up happening, according to Cat Williams.
Be me and you. We're going to do it together. We're going to do some buddy cop shit. I said, Martin, you got my motherfucking word. My nigga. Go do what you got to do. When you come back, I'm in your movie. Don't trip. I don't need to see the script or nothing. You know, we get in that office and this fool pull out Big Mama's House 2. I almost died. And I got to read this script from all these good white people. Where this nigga want me to get in a dress with him. And I'm literally saying to everybody, why is he in a dress again? You already played the old lady as an FBI agent. We can play anything now. We can be playing a dog catcher this time. Why do we need to be in a dress? And I get so mad, I say, you don't want me. You want Brandon T. Jackson. And that's who they went and got. Twice I said it, they went and got him. Just like I'm telling you, I had that other dude's work. I had all of it. All I did was say, I want to punch it up so it's not offensive to real niggas.
Did you hear what he said? He got, I'm familiar with Brandon T. Jackson. That brother's been on social media. I think he did a podcast or met with some folks in Detroit and talked about this issue. What do you think about what he just said there about Martin Lawrence putting him in a dress? What are your thoughts about that in the chat room? That Martin Lawrence told him it was going to be some buddy cop stuff, and he came back with the Big Mama's House 2, and Cat Williams said, nah, I don't want to be in no dress. And the tradition in Hollywood is that they've always tried to break the masculinity down of black men by putting black men in a dress to demasculize us. For some reason, Hollywood has a delicious thirst to see masculine black men in dress. I want to Dave Chappelle spoke about this on the Oprah show back in the day. How many of y'all remember Dave Chappelle on Oprah speaking out against how the system, I already showed that video of Christian Keys, how he's saying that some producer that's well known that we all look up to, trying to get in his pants, trying to sexualize him. And we got someone like Dave Chappelle who was telling us on Oprah's show how they were trying to get him in a dress and all the directors and producers were putting pressure on him. There is a tradition of this bullshit. This is where Cat Williams is 100% golden correct.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Let's play the video. Now, to give you some history and context here, Flip Wilson is one of those first comedians, male comedian. Remember, for those of you millennials out there, you may not know about this. There was a show called The Flip Wilson Show back in the 60s, the 70s? 60s and 70s, where Flip Wilson, a comedian, donned a dress, wig, and they had him like this. You see it on the screen. They had him in drag like this. There he is. That's on his show. I want y'all to take a look at that. That's back in the 60s and 70s. Nothing has changed. Look at the modern day look. Tyler Perry in the 21st century. Nothing has changed. Look at this. Look at this. Here go another one of your well-known comedians. Look at this. On Saturday Night Live with Jamie Foxx in a dress. We already know that they've done this ritual with. This is why Cat Williams was correct in saying what he said, that he didn't want to be in another dress. He has never put himself in a dress. Here is Kevin Hart. Here is Jamie Foxx. Here is an array of them. Look at this. There is Martin Lawrence in your right corner. You got even Wesley Snipes, strong man Wesley Snipes. All the ladies love Wesley Snipes, strong black man. Look at him right there. This is what they do. They always want to put us in a dress. Look at that. The Wayans brothers, they in a dress. We know what we already know that Eddie Murphy's done it multiple times. There's the brother right there, Brandon T. Johnson, with Martin Lawrence, who took the role. They wanted to put Cat Williams in that type of outfit. Cat Williams said, hell no. Here's a collage of people. So we know Ricky Smiley's done it. We know that Chris Rock has done it. We know that who else is on here? We know that let me see. Martin Lawrence has done it. Chris Tucker has done it. Chris Rock has done it. Right? Arsenio Hall has done it when he was on Coming to America. We already know Ricky Smiley's done it several times. Oh, Ben Rain has done it. The big masculine brother who was in who's been in a bunch of movies. He was in Baby Girl. Remember the brother that was in Baby Girl? Baby Boy? And he was the love interest of Tyrese's mother. And he grabbed him up and said, he grabbed him and said, it's about butters and guns. They even put him in drag. This is a long tradition of Hollywood. There he is. You know who this comedian is right here. Right? He was on what was that? He was on the kids show, Nickelodeon, when he was a younger, right? Now he's Saturday Night Live always has to have their one black comedian. So they got him looking like Oprah or something like that, right? They got him in drag, and of course, all y'all look at that. Wesley Snipes. They've all have been dragged through the ritual. Lest you, black man, wear this dress. And
you already played the old lady as an FBI agent. We can play anything now. We can be playing a dog catcher this time. Why do we need to be in a dress? And I get so mad, I say, you don't.
Why? Because they want to demasculize us, emasculize black men, feminize us. They've been messing with our image for decades. Decades. And it seems like it's a ritual for all these black actors. Now, Wesley Snipes, I'm shocked that he would even be willing to do that, right? But you know what? Denzel Washington, you know that they've been wanting to put him in a dress too, but Denzel ain't going for that shit. And we told you how this shit is going.
I was like, well, I got to protect me because I'm saying no, and I don't want this person, as powerful as they are, to try to get in the way of my work. So I started recording. So I have them offering me money to take my clothes off.
Mm-hmm.
I have recordings when I wasn't working with them.
Boom. This is what it's all about. Demasculize the black man. This is why Cat Williams' interview with Shannon Sharpe has a lot of validity. There's things that you may say, oh, that ain't true, but let's look at what is true about how they want to put us always in dresses. And I told you before, they tried the same thing with one Dave Chappelle, and he rejected it. Here is the interview from back in the day with Oprah Winfrey. Here we go.
I'm a conspiracy theorist to a degree. Like when I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be connected, I don't know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, wow, all these brothers got to wear a dress. This happened to me. I'm doing a movie with Martin.
Yeah.
The movie's going good. So I walk in a trailer. I'm like, man, this must be the wrong trailer because there's a dress in here. They come in. It's the writer comes in. I think he's the writer. He's like, Dave, listen, we got this hilarious scene where Martin's sneaking out of jail. So he disguises you as a prostitute. And he put this dress on, and what? A prostitute? No, I'm not doing that. I don't feel comfortable with that. That should have been in the discussion.
You see what's going on here? They tried to push this ritual on Dave Chappelle. And he said, nah, I'm not feeling this. But they kept pushing and pushing the pressure. Why is this happening? Now, as much as I said before, no matter what you think of Cat Williams, whether you think he's telling the truth or he's lying, there's a lot of truth and grains of salt of truth in what he's saying. This particular area of what he's saying is truth, and we've all known it. At the same time, I don't like to see black men going at each other in this way, but I'd rather stand with someone who's saying something that I know has validity and truth, and I have shown you the receipts today. Let's get back to Dave Chappelle.
What? You don't feel comfortable with it. I mean, it's a hilarious bit. All the greats have done it. So, well, if all the greats have done it, it's kind of hacky, right? You're right. So why don't we just not do it? Because I don't feel comfortable wearing a dress. Oh, come on, Dave, listen, we got it all set up. We're supposed to shoot. Every minute you waste costs this much money. You know, the pressure comes in. He said, I'm not wearing no dress, man. I'm funnier than a dress. Just give me something funny to say. I don't need to wear no dress to be funny. What am I, Milton Berle? You know, we're going like this. And then finally he's like, and he leaves. And then like the director comes, Dave, it really would be great if you wear the dress. What is wrong? What is this, Brokeback Mountain in here?
You hear that? Did you hear that? So you got the director, the producer, everybody's coming into his room trying to convince him to wear the dress. And he's saying, what is this, Brokeback Mountain?
Tell the truth.
This is what he's saying. This is what's going on. So from that point of view, Cat Williams dropped dimes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's go over to Ice Cube and let Ice Cube, from his perspective as the brother who wrote, I believe he directed and produced Fridays. Let's hear what he has to say because he shows a lot of respect for Cat Williams, and let's hear it.
It's your homie Ice Cube. Just wanted to address a few things. You know, everybody been checking out the internet. My man Cat Williams. You know, first of all, I just want to say, you know, we shot that movie over 20 years ago. So, you know, people have different perspectives, and it's been a long time. I also want to say, you know, every comedian that I've worked with, every comedian that I've put in a movie, I only put them in the movie because I thought they was funny. I thought they was perfect for the part. I tried to put them in a position to win. That's what it's all about, you know. I don't, you know, I look at from, you know, Chris Tucker and Bernie Mac and Mike Epps, Cat Williams, you know, Ricky Smiley, Michael Blackson, Cedric, Kevin Hart. You know, all these guys I know are funny as hell. You know, I didn't discover them. You know, they were doing their stand-up or doing their thing, and I knew that they were great and that they could act, and that, you know, if I have an opportunity, I was going to give them an opportunity. You know, to me, that's what it's all about. You know, my man, Jonathan Kidd, so he did wear a dress. Did Dave Chappelle finally succumb to the pressure and wear a dress? And what's the actual context, or what was the video? Was it on his TV show that he had? Was it a movie? Let us know, brother Jonathan Kidd. Maybe he succumbed to these pressures eventually. You know, specific things. You know, Cat was 100 on a few things. Most of what he was saying, a couple things, you know, I just want to clarify. Now, I want to stop it right there. Ice Cube specifically said that Cat Williams was correct on a few things he said. This is the man who made the movie, so he's correct. So I'm taking Ice Cube at his word that he's saying that some of the things that he said had validity. Now, let's move to it. And what's going on? You know, DoorDash revolution in the house. We do have them try out for different roles. So Ricky did give Money Mike a shot. But when we saw him and, you know, we kind of saw how he moved and how he was, you know, auditioning, we decided that he would be a better, you know, Santa Claus. Which was, to me, the perfect casting. When we saw Mike, damn, I call him Money Mike. When we saw Cat, you know, when I saw him, I just knew that he was perfect for Money Mike. And, you know, Cat, you know, said he wrote his role, which, I mean, the role was written, but he enhanced it. This is why Cat was so dope in the movie. You know, Money Mike had a small role, you know, about as big as the Santa Claus role, but when we start filming, he was giving us such magic that the contract with Black America that Ice Cube put out there, I mean, America owes us reparations, period. But you see, both the Democrats and the Republican Party, they didn't do shit with what Ice Cube was trying to present. The Democratic Party under Biden said, oh, we'll get back to you when we get elected, and didn't do shit. A lot of us demonized Ice Cube because we thought that he was
with Trump when Trump and his party never physically met with him. They were the first ones that said that they were interested, but he never met with Trump and they never met with him. Both these political parties ain't worth a bag of $3 fries. Both screw you in the end. Democrats screw you with Vaseline and Republicans screw you without Vaseline.
We kept expanding his role and giving him more to do because he was on point. You know, when we shoot these movies, you know, for one, the scripts are fire, or they wouldn't even do it. The scripts are a laugh out.
Nappy Yankee, what's going on, Naps?
But we shoot the script, but once we get what we need from the script, we let the comedians
we dragged him,
riff.
We dragged him, and we're not satisfied. We dragged him. At least he had a plan. I didn't see any of these other celebrities come up with any plan. But then what bothered me about Ice Cube later on is when he kept talking about the gatekeepers, and it was really about the NBA infringing on the the three ballers lead that he's got. But I was waiting still for Ice Cube to reveal these other gatekeepers. But we know who they are. Let's continue.
You know, play with the words, do their thing. You know, we give them a take where they can, or 2, 3 takes where they can go off and do what they feel. You know, sometimes it makes the movie, sometimes it don't. You know, when somebody gives you jewels, you want to try to make sure that makes the movie. So in the movie, there's second thing I want to clear up. It was never, I would never shoot a rape scene in a movie, especially like Friday.
So this is good that he's clearing that up. That's where Cat Williams may not have been completely honest about that part. I don't know. I wasn't there, but Ice Cube is saying he has never put that in his movie. He didn't have any idea to put that in his movie. So I don't know. That's what Ice Cube is saying that right now. Another thing I want to let you all know is that Jonathan Kidd has dropped a very important link in the chat room, which I believe is the link of proof that at some point in time, much as I hate to say it, that Dave Chappelle did indeed put on a dress. So he put the link in there. Click that link or save that link at some time or another. And let's see. This is, I'm looking at it. This is an old video. Oh, you know what? This is from his comedy sketch. Yeah, he is in a, yeah. He's wearing a lady's outfit from back in the, 1700 or 1500s, you know, doing the knights and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's a female outfit that he's got on. That's for sure. Yeah. Yeah. It's an outfit that they wore back in the days when you had, like, you know, the knights and people were wearing armor and fighting with swords and stuff. And he's wearing some female outfit that the women wore in those days. It's a skit from his show. So good looking out on that one, Jonathan. Good looking out for that with that one. Let's get back.
Where you actually see this happening on camera. That ain't my style. If you check out any of my movies, they're not raunchy. You know, we did a movie called Players Club where the subject matter was a little raunchy, but for the most part, even that, we left it to your imagination. So the only reason that kind of stuff is in the movie is because you have 3 villains in Friday After Next. You have Santa Claus stealing presents. You have Damon, just got out of prison, sweating. Craig and Day for the rent money. And then you have Money Mike, you know, a pimp that treats his woman, you know, like a property. So Craig is always fighting the villains in the movie, you know, from the Joker Brothers to Debo. And so we already had Craig fighting Santa Claus. And the only real way to get rid of the other two villains was to have them go against each other. And the plier joke was always in the script. You know, it was never, we would never ever show that. You know, that's not my style if you look at any of my movies. So, you know, that was never a discussion. You know, we
tell the truth.
You know, at that point in everybody's career.
The Inquisitive Prince, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the super chat.
I will be playing super chat music for you before this podcast is over. Let's get back to it. I appreciate everybody in the chat room. We got Big Mama Loves You, Jonathan Kidd, who dropped a really good link that shows, unfortunately, Dave Chappelle did don a woman's outfit from a period piece. We got Isaac Godby in the house. Empress Goddess Kimberly is in the house. Precious Time is in the house. Fearsome for Reading is in the house. Let me see. CBN Tech Talks is here. Black Anonymous, appreciate you being here. Swayze, seems like they're all in the club. Yeah, very interesting. Beautiful Bernice has come over. And we got CBN Tech Talk. What's going on, my brother? We got Kujin 87. Fierce for Reading. She says, Ice Cube put his name on the line. He didn't have to do that. Then black people dragged him for it. Right. And we should have never dragged Ice Cube for coming up with a plan that was about black people. We turn around. Now, I know Tone Talks had his analysis about how his plan with Black America wasn't probably going to work. But at the end of the day, we talk about how these celebrities don't do this and don't do that for the black community. But yet Ice Cube did go on a line and say, hey, let's come up with a plan. And what really bothered me is when he went on, what was that? Fox Soul. And you had Vivica Fox and all those ladies on there who, when he said this is a plan for Black America, they kept talking about what's the plan for black women. And then he said, well, black women are black people. So that whole situation that happened a few years ago, it all disgusted me. It really did disgust. It did disgust me, because even if people had issues with his plan, he at least had a plan that he wanted to put into motion. And he said he was willing to work with whoever would work with him. We got TY Boogie X who says, Tone Talks is still around. Yes, Tone Talks is still around. I mean, that brother puts out great content, tells it like it is. I'm just saying that I think that, and I agree with the sister, I think that Ice Cube took, I think, unfair criticism when he did a lot more than most celebrities in his situation. We got another super chat from GT Massive, $20 super chat saying, Cat played a pimp, not a priest. Right. He wasn't a priest. He was a pimp in that. You're absolutely right.
Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you for that super chat. And I appreciate that a lot. Let me put you up on the, let me put that up on the screen here. And I appreciate that. I got a $20 super chat from GT Massive. Cat played a pimp, not a priest. Yeah, he was a pimp. Yeah, and pimps ain't the best image for our community. Let's just keep that real right now. That made me mad about Fox Soul women. That was just, yeah, they were. I didn't like that. He says he had a plan for black people. Black women are black people. He didn't say, I only have a plan for black men or black children. He said, I got a plan for black people that encompasses women, men, and children. Right. We got CB Breezy 40 says black actors are actors, so we can't take a role. We can't take a role because it doesn't look good for the culture, but there's are not enough acting roles. Very, very good point. Mike B said fact. All right. Let's get back to Ice Cube because I got some more material for you.
You know, we would listen to a certain extent, but we wasn't gonna change the movie for any actor. You know, we do what we feel, and if it was a rape scene, it would have been in the movie. It was no reason not to shoot it. But that's not my style. I don't even like that kind of shit in movies, on camera. And so, you know, that was, to me, a little discrepancy there. You know, Cat, he wrote a lot of his part because, you know, like I said, he was giving us jewels, so we were keeping the camera rolling. He was coming off the dome. He was coming prepared every day to steal the show. You know, that was his mission. And, you know, that's what he did, you know, with the movie. And it launched his career. You know?
That's true.
And I'm proud of the movie. I'm proud of all the guys who've, you know, come through, you know, a Q Vision production and went on to do bigger and better things. And look, you know, a lot of people are talking about pay and how much they was paid on these movies that were extremely low budget. You know, most of these guys worked a couple of days, you know.
Tell the truth.
And when you're doing a movie, there's over 100 people working on the movie that need to get paid. Most of them got to get paid every day. And there's pre-production and post-production. Even after you finish with the actors, you got to.
Now, you know why Ice Cube is saying something about people being paid, the post-production and the production and the writers and the people that do the lighting and all this sort of stuff, because remember, it was Faison Love. Uh-oh, see how this comes full circle? It was Faison Love that accused, there were people that accused Ice Cube of not paying his actors. And remember, most of these people that were in Fridays, they weren't well known. They weren't stars yet. These guys were, most of these folks were very unknown yet. And Faison, I think he was the first to jump out the window and complain about what he didn't get paid. Dude, you were an unknown commodity, an untapped commodity. Ice Cube gave you your first shot that also helped your career. All of these people had their careers built in this movie. Chris Tucker had his career built off of Fridays. So nobody should be hating on Ice Cube when the budget for the movie was a low budget anyway. Everybody was taking a shot here at something. What's going on to the intellectual soapbox? Salute to you, brother. Make sure y'all check out the Intellectual Soapbox, their YouTube channel. I go by there from time to time and show my respects. I hope that you do too as well. Much respect to you. Intellectual Soapbox. I mean, that was one of the rumors. See, that's what I'm saying about us black people, whether it be in entertainment, black people in general. Why do we hate on one another? They was dragging Ice Cube, not only about the contract with America, but we had the actors like Faison Love who dragged Ice Cube as well, talking about, I didn't get paid. Dude, you had a small role for a minute in the movie. You played a weed man. You were an unknown tap commodity. All the actors in this project were not well known. You got into Fridays and it blew up, or it helped to assist your career. Ice Cube gave you what the market value was for your untapped talent at the time. And he also had to pay everybody else, just like he said.
Pay editors and sound people, and my movies are all about quality, so most of the money go up on the screen. I'm not giving you no bullshit. I'm not giving you no low budget, you know, shit you can laugh at because it's so cheap. So, you know, we try to put all the money on the screen. And so any actor that's mad at what they got paid, You know, just look at what you was doing. Look at where your.
You see what I'm talking about? And peace and respect to Cartel. I see you in there. Bernice, the beautiful Bernice, I see you in there. Precious Time, I see you in there. We got Jay, the informant, says fact. Fact, you ain't never lied. Yeah, I don't try to give you Dylan lies over here with y'all. C Breezy 40, we hate on one another because it's easy. We don't have the same smoke for those in the power. Right. You know why we don't have the same concern for those that in power? Because we know when it comes to black people, there's no punishment that you have to worry about. You know that if you do this in the larger society, there's a more stringent punishment. So there's no fear of punishment being put upon you by the culture, by the code itself. I'm going to tell you guys something very interesting. It's going to be real quick. It's not going to deviate too far, but I like a lot of sci-fi movies. And lately on YouTube, I've been subscribing to all these channels on YouTube around the whole Predator, you know, the movie Predator, the sci-fi movie with the predators and stuff like that. They got comic books about the Predator. I've been watching all the Predator stuff on YouTube about the monster from the movies. I don't want nobody to take this wrong. I'm talking about the character Predator, the monster, the space monster, right? The space extraterrestrial, right? Where they got the little locks in their hair. And in my opinion, the Predator in the Predator movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they got the locks in their hair, them is black extraterrestrials. That's right. And the Klingons in Star Trek was black people in the future. Okay? Okay? Those is black people. But I've been following the trilogy of the Predator creatures, and it's a whole world to it because they talk about how there's different types of predators, creatures, and they're a fighting clan, and they all have a code that they play by. And remember, they fight against the aliens, and they do a ritual when they go after aliens, and they put the alien, blood into their helmet. But what I like about it is that it talks about the code that they live by, that these extraterrestrial creatures that are in the Predator movies and in the comic books, they have a code. When you really listen to what the code is, and I say to myself, damn, that's what black people should adapt. The code that they live by. And I'm saying to myself, damn, even the damn Predator creature got a code amongst his people or his kind. Why can't we have that? Damn it. And so when I look at this stuff on YouTube, it's very interesting how they break down these creatures and how they live and where they come from and how they go about becoming warriors in the code that they live by. We need a code.
Career was at the time. Take a look at where it is now. And Friday has something to do with that, I believe. And I put a lot of people in movies, but they ain't never put me in a movie. So you could take that for what it's worth. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wait a minute. Did you hear what he just said? Oh, let me hit the bell on this one. These people who have hated on Ice Cube about whether they didn't get this much money in the movie, who he helped start their careers, he said you can take it for what it is, that none of them have ever invited him to be in their movies. Once again, why do we hate on each other? Why do we backbite on each other? And to the brother in that chat room about the Predator creatures that I was talking about, you're right. They're honorable hunters. They operate on honor. I'm telling you, you go on YouTube and you pull up some of those videos. I mean, it breaks down where they come from, how they got created. They talk about the engineers from the Prometheus movie. It's a really deep science to these hunters. You know, we saw the movies, but the comic books and some of the videos on YouTube go deeper into the allure. And it's so deep because I'm saying, damn, that's the code that black people need to have. And that code would be what? Ice Cube would be invited to be in their movies. Ice Cube would be dealt with properly. If we had a code, Cat Williams wouldn't have to come out and start talking about everybody. And everybody wouldn't come out and start talking about him because it would be handled behind closed doors. Now, let me let you hear from Aries Spears. He really shouldn't be talking. He really shouldn't be talking because remember, him and Tiffany Haddish got themselves caught up in a situation. Remember that situation with them where they did some movie with some child that was inappropriate? That's from the movie right there. Remember that? Aries Spears looked like his career was going to be over. Well, ladies and gentlemen, he had a lot to say about Cat Williams. You know what? We're going to hear it right now.
What up? It's your boy Aries Spears here. You know, a lot of people have been asking me on the Instagram about my thoughts on the Cat Williams situation, and he did mention me, which was a head scratcher because I don't know what I did to him. And, you know, I was going to save this for my podcast, but I might as well kind of get into it now. And basically, I'm going to repeat the same thing on my podcast. And, you know, again, people ask me what I thought about it. And I'm going to say this. You know, I think it's sad. It saddens me to know that my people, the people I love, black people, as well as everybody else, but my people come first.
Let me stop here. I want to read this from Sister Fiercest for reading. It's like any job. You start at the bottom. When you get your skills up from that low-end job, you go to the next job and ask for more money. Facts, facts, facts. Now, I want to say this right quick. As much as I don't like what Aries Spears and Tiffany Haddish did on that video with the minor, in the beginning of this, what Spears is saying is actually true, you know, in terms of what I'm saying tonight, that, hey, we shouldn't be hating on one another and what have you. But even though he comes with a spirit of some truth to what he's saying, it's kind of hard to listen to this brother talk because he got himself caught up in doing a video that was very, very inappropriate.
Black people, we love drama.
Yes, we do like drama. We do love drama.
We love it so much that we allow it to be detrimental to the progress of us and the culture. We absolutely love it. Because I'm asking myself, why did he do something that was both unnecessary and absolutely pointless? And in reading the comments, you know, it's I could tell we love drama by the shit we say, you know. Protect Cat at all costs. We got to protect Cat. He the GOAT. He the GOAT. And I want to address both those things. All right, number one.
I'm going to say it again. The only GOAT in comedy is Richard Pryor, period. Even though Aries Spears is going to say it's an overused word. Let's continue.
The GOAT thing is a useless title. Every comedian, every entertainer, every performer is the GOAT to their fan base. Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer are the GOATs to their fan base. Wanda Sykes, everybody he called out, Ricky Smiley, Kevin Hart, Chris Tucker, they're all GOATs to their fan base. I get called a GOAT and a legend all the time. If you think I'm tooting my own horn, look at my comedy clips. Go through the comments. Aries, you a GOAT. You a legend. While that's flattering, it's a useless title. There can only be one GOAT, and his name was Richard fucking Pryor. I remember one of my favorite things to watch was the 30 for 30 with Shaq on ESPN when he was playing for the Orlando Magic. And in his younger days, he goes, you know, when people would ask me whose team is it, when you're in your 20s, you care about shit like that. I had to let people know it was my team. But as I got older, I realized that's a useless title.
You are completely right, sister. It's a crab in a barrel mentality And this is not what we're seeing within the community. Now, let me say this to you. I'm going to let Ari Spears finish out what he says, and then I'm going to say something to you that you're going to find very interesting.
Because the ultimate goal was to win a championship. So as far as y'all saying who the GOAT is, Cat is your GOAT. I understand that. But you really, that's a useless title. Then you say things like, yo, we got to protect Cat at all costs. Protect him at all costs. Did he cure cancer? Did he cure AIDS? Did he end racism? Did he figure out black poverty? Turn the fucking volume down. Protect Cat at all costs. Knock it off. Keep it in perspective. This is a news cycle. That's all this is. It's a news cycle. This ain't curing cancer. This ain't nothing to protect nobody about. Oh, he shook up Hollywood. He exposed Hollywood. Ooh, he told the truth. Again, to me, this is pointless. What did he do? What did he change? He didn't change anything. Steve Harvey is still going to be Steve Harvey. The success, the fame, the money, the momentum, the adulation, the respect, the adoration from the fans is still going to all be there. Same thing with Cedric. Same thing with Chris Tucker. Same thing with Ludacris. Same thing with Rhonda Sykes. Same thing with me. Same thing with Ricky Smiley. Everybody that he named will still go on. Nothing has changed.
Now, I got to say that once again, Ari Spears, you have a lot to account for with that movie that you did with the kid, and that was inappropriate. Actually, does he have a point here that nothing's going to change just because Cat Williams, so to speak, let the cat out of the bag? Because really, did he really let the cat out of the bag, or was it something that we already knew? He just reinforced or reminded us of something that we all were thinking, that we always had a curiosity about, or that we just always knew. And I don't know. I mean, Ari Spears says, did it change anything? I don't know if we're looking for anything to change in Hollywood, because most of us here on social media, we don't want anything to do with, we don't care about Hollywood, and they don't care about us. They care about suppressing our channels and making sure we don't get out there to more and more people to listen to us. But I don't think it's about us looking for something to change in Hollywood. Most of us are not in Hollywood, don't work in Hollywood, don't collect a check from Hollywood. It's more about Cat Williams validating what we already thought and knew was going on. I don't think anyone is asking for Cat Williams to save the day like Cat Williams is going to save the day and change Hollywood. No, not even Cat Williams is saying that. He's just basically telling you what's going on. Remember, Ari Spears, he did an inappropriate, talk about the weirdness of Hollywood. Him and Tiffany Haddish did an inappropriate movie where there were inappropriate things being done with a kid because they were trying to do, I guess, they were trying to make a movie or a skit to show what you shouldn't be, what's going on when it comes to what can happen to kids. But it was poorly executed, poorly filmed, poorly done. You were a part of that Hollywood movie, Ari Spears, which both of you caught hell about, and we all were doing videos about it. So while he says, well, he ain't gonna change anything in Hollywood, none of us are asking for it to change. We're asking for transparency as to this is what's going on. This is what you're getting into when you sign that contract, when you sign that oath, when you get involved in these rituals of Hollywood. Ain't nobody talking about we want Cat Williams to be the super Cat Williams to change it like he gonna change it. No, he's telling you why he doesn't engage in it. He's giving us a warning. What do you all think? Whether you like Cat Williams or not, whether you don't agree with what he said, whether Cat Williams been to jail or whatever, it doesn't matter. is whether the bulk of what he said in his interview had a ring of truth to it or was truthful. Obviously, there are things that could be exaggerated. Obviously, there's stuff that may not be 100% true in certain areas, but there are certainly other areas of his interview that had validity to it. Let's not kid ourselves here. You know why? Let's look at D.C. Curry. How many of you all know who D.C. Curry is? Put 7 in the chat room. If you're familiar with D.C. Curry, let's put him up here right now. D.C. Curry is also a comedian. He's been around Cat Williams. He's been around Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer. He's worked with all of these guys, so he has some insight and knows what's going on. I'm about to, with his help, I'm going to break down to you why, the real reason why Cat Williams don't like Steve Harvey. It actually goes beyond just comedy. And this man, D.C. Curry, broke it down. Looks like everyone knows him. Alicia Allen Christian knows him. Jill's Chocolate Boutique knows him. Kendra G knows him. Michael Foster puts a 7, knows who this comedian is. Coolgen87 knows who he is. Dominique Jones says Uncle Roy. Right. He was in one of the Friday movies, wasn't he? Right? I think the one that had Mike Epps in it when they moved to the to Rocca Cucamonga. They moved out to the suburb in LA. That's a real suburb in Los Angeles. I think Rocca Cuca Humpton. I can't say it. Rocha Cucamonga, something. That is a real suburb in LA. Rocha Cucamonga, some shit like that. But he laid out some things. Okay, now while Kevin Hart did not like what Cat Williams said, and he rebutted it in his own, this is Kevin Hart's own Twitter page. Remember, he said this in response to Cat Williams: gotta get that anger out at you, champ. It's sad. It's honestly sad. In the meantime, please enjoy my movie trailer to my next film, Lift, which will be dropping on Netflix on 8 days, which is on Netflix now. There is a moment in the trailer where they say, really love you. I know she's talking about Cat, make you calendar world. This is one is special. So Cat says, I now know she's talking about Cat. Mark your calendar, world. This one is special. I just wanted to clean that up there. So that's what he said in rebuttal. That's Kevin Hart. But this man right here, man, I think he knows some things, folks. Check this out.
Honor amongst your comedic partners to say, hey man, let me check in with my boy before I just go out here.
This is fair use for parody, news reporting, critical analysis.
Hey man, word is bond with me.
That's right. Do you feel that Cat may have stepped over the line with the Ricky Smileys and the Cedric the Entertainers, or was this interview was just something that's just some Cat being
I'm
Cat?
gonna tell you something about almost everything he said. I know about it. I wouldn't have said it, but it's pretty much true.
Whoa! Did you hear what D.C. Curry said? If you did, make sure you punch the 7s in the chat room. He said that he knew about it. He wouldn't have said it himself, but it was pretty much true. This is D.C. Curry, who's been around these guys. He's worked with these guys. He's been around Cat. He's in the scene. He knows what's going on. Listen to people who are in the scene. Let's hear that again.
I'm gonna tell you something about almost everything he said. I know about it. I wouldn't have said it, but it's pretty much true.
Yeah. Right. So, but where do you would, like you said, you wouldn't have said it, but everybody's different.
I wouldn't have said it because I know something about all y'all that I won't say.
I appreciate that.
Because it would ruin y'all's relationships. It would ruin your marriage. It would ruin you. Wouldn't be a pastor no more.
Never again. Never.
You ain't got to emphasize all that.
So there it is. He says that pretty much everything that Cat Williams was saying about specific comedians, particularly the ones that he knows. You hear what I'm saying, folks, that it was true. Although he wouldn't have said it because of how it could ruin people and what have you. That's DC Curry who said this. Let's hear it one more time for full effect.
I'm going to tell you something about almost everything he said. I know about it. I wouldn't have said it, but it's pretty much true.
Yeah. Right. So, but where do you would, like you said, you wouldn't have said it, but everybody's different.
I wouldn't have said it because I know something about all y'all.
Wow. That's really revealing. What do you all think about what he just said? He started pointing. Kenda G says, yep. And the beautiful Bernice, she's laughing. Jonathan Kidd is, he put a 7. We got my man, CBN Tech Talks is in the house. What's going on? Good to see you. Everybody has got 7s in there. It seems like everybody is on the same page with what they're hearing. Force for reading. I think all of this is just a distraction. Black America have other more important things than we would be focused. Yeah, I agree. It's a distraction. But what bothers me about it is that, once again, it's black men not getting along with each other and black people in general not being on code and going after each other. And these are black men that are in entertainment, have some level of success. I wish that this could all be squashed and fixed and dealt with behind closed doors. But we can't deny that this is a symptom of a bigger issue that comes out of the fact that we have some black people who don't like each other, and it will manifest itself when we are trying to rise to the top of our profession, whether it be sports, entertainment, whatever. If you got black people who want to go to college, and you'll have black people who look down on black people who go to college. You have black people who got college education and will look down on those who don't have college education. You see what I'm saying? It's a crab in a barrel mentality, pulling each other down. You see? So it doesn't matter what life you come from. We're always, let me say this, we're sometimes coming and punching down on each other. And that's the bigger theme that I'm trying to do here on this particular podcast today. Now, I want to say this. You say to yourself, why is it that there's this discontent? It's about telling the truth.
Tell the truth.
That there's this discontent between these guys. What is the rift between Steve Harvey and Cat Williams? DC Curry, once again, talks about what the riff is. He talks about that it goes back to Cat Williams' kids in a mall. That Cat Williams was in a mall with his kids, and his kids spotted out Steve Harvey. They went to him for autograph. They wanted to, give him, shower him with some love, and they wanted an autograph. And I think it was his 2 sons, felt stiffed by Steve Harvey. They felt that Steve Harvey was arrogant and disrespected them and didn't want to give them an autograph or show them any kind of love. And we know that celebrities get hounded by people all the time. But according to D.C. Curry, this is what happened that started the beef, that it had nothing really to do with comedy at first, that it had to do with how he treated his kids when they were looking for an autograph. If you believe this, if this is true, this is according to D.C. Curry, who said this is what Cat Williams told him. Let's listen to it right now.
After him and the Steve Harvey blow up. And I said, Cat, come on, man. What was? Because I'm going to tell you the truth. Actually, you remember when Steve and Cat were going at it? Mm-hmm. It kind of saddened me, man. Because before that, you know, the rappers would go at it amongst each other. Mm-hmm. Comics, we always had our beef amongst ourselves.
Right.
But I think that was the first time it was done out in public. Cat Williams versus Steve Harvey. So I was talking to Cat, and I asked Cat, I said, come on, man, what's going on? And it's two sides to every story, but Cat's explanation was, he was in a mall one time, before we did Next Friday. Cat was in Next Friday.
Right.
And he was just a working comic. He had two sons. They were in a mall, and they saw Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey was on Steve Harvey's show at that time. His son said, that's Steve Harvey. Cat said, yeah. His sons wanted to go up and ask Steve Harvey for autograph. Cat told him, go ahead. This Cat story to me now.
Okay.
The boys went up. Steve Harvey, to make a long story short, rejected him.
Big time.
They came back to Cat. They said, he told us, you know, he ain't doing none of that. And the boys went back and told him, Cat Williams, my daddy. And supposedly, Steve said, who the fuck is Cat Williams? Which at the time was a good question. Cat told his boy, don't worry about it, come on. Fast forward a year later, when Cat has come to be the Cat that we know him. Yeah. Steve was having trouble selling tickets in Detroit. They added Cat to the show, turned it into Cat versus Steve Harvey show. And Cat went out and just ripped a hole in Steve's ass. So that's Cat's side of the story.
All this money y'all spent on that motherfucking tickets.
This is the show that I played earlier that D.C. Curry is talking about, where he went on stage and ripped a hole and Steve Harvey clowned him. And he talked about how y'all didn't pay all this money for these tickets and he ain't even show up or he ain't even here.
A lady in the audience for 15 goddamn minutes. That nigga should have talked about me the way I've been to talk about his bitch man. Nigga to fucking been back to a championship, my nigga.
So that is what D.C. Curry was talking about that took place at that time. Once again, you can see, obviously, Cat Williams had some bone to pick with Steve Harvey that appears to be bigger than just comedy by itself. Now, if that is true, this is according to our man D.C. Curry, who I played a video for you of him saying that he believed what he said had a lot of truth to it, but he wouldn't have said it himself. And of course, he also breaks down where some of the beef comes from as it relates to Cat Williams' kids. Everybody, if you've enjoyed the program tonight, how I've laid everything out, put sevens in the chat room, I really appreciate you all. But before I go tonight, I need to do this for people who super chatted me, which I really appreciated that. Okay, and here we go.
Thank you for the super chat.
Time to run it off. I wake up.
I wake up, flex, thumb down that check, no drip this, tell 'em run it up, no sleep, no rest, might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch, time to run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down now, check. No drip, this time to run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch, time to run it up. 9 out of 10 roll through my hands, I'm by my lonely. Turned to a savage, now my baby wants to hold me. I love my fans, don't need no friends, I got my homies. Thought I could trust you, I find out you tried to zone me. I'm number one up on that court, I'm Nick McGrid. The first one.
All right. Now, I want to, Brother Code had a lot of great things to say about Cat Williams. There was a story that Cat Williams actually has, he said in the podcast with Shannon Sharpe on Club Shay Shay, that he likes the company of women versus the company of men, and that he has ladies who leave money for comedians who are not making a lot of money. And I think Brother Cole was one of them. And let's listen to what he had to say about the man we know as Cat Williams. That, you know, there's all different sides to people, right? That a lot of times this doesn't get publicized, but the comedians that are coming up the ranks, they know this to be true. And here we go.
I was just sitting here thinking, and do me a favor.
D-Cone.
Anybody that do interviews or anybody know him, Cat Williams, if you're ever around him, ask him, how much money has he given away? Just given away. Like, just ask him that. Just be like, how much money have you given away? If you're around him, if you're interviewing him, just ask him. Because it has to be insane. Cat is one of the most generous people that you ever gonna meet. And a lot of people don't know that. He don't get a lot of press and love for that. One of the most generous ever. He's had to have given away, I don't even know the number. It has to be crazy. Because there's a lot of people with stories about him giving money to. Case in point, I remember I was at the Comedy Store performing one night, got off stage, and this was like early on, before really a whole bunch of stuff was happening for me. I get off stage and everybody like, man, good set, good set, good set. So many people saying that. Some girl came and put something in my hand that said good set, but I didn't see her. I just heard her, and she walked off. And I thought it was like a phone number in my hand. And when everybody walked away and stuff, I looked in my hand, and it was $1,000. And then I looked out in the audience trying to find the girl, and I'm like, man, I can't remember her face, and I couldn't see her. And I was just like, who gave me $1,000?
That's very generous of Cat Williams to do that. These are stories that I've heard as well that he has done. We got Patricia, who's come in the house saying, great show, first visit for me, and I truly enjoyed your show. Thank you for the informative information and comments. Thank you. Let me see what Fierce for Reading is saying here. Steve Harvey is more likely to compare his integrity for a bad. He said that out of his own mouth to Monique. Right, when Monique was telling us about how she was being ripped off, she said that Steve Harvey was trying to get her to coon. That's why I don't really have a lot of respect for Steve Harvey, y'all. Jonathan Kidd said, D. Cole, I think is his name. I don't know if I'm saying the name right, is a good DJ also. Oh, he also is a DJ too, Jonathan Kidd. Thank you for that information. I didn't know that he did DJing as well. I got to look into that. I want to say to, as this is going to end our program tonight, I want to say to Jill's Chocolate Boutique, Cartel, Jonathan Kidd, Kenta G, the beautiful Barnice, GT, Massive, thank you for the super chat today. All of you, Fierce for Reading, thank you for coming through. Everybody, if you're new to the channel, the Inquisitive Prince, the Prince, thank you for coming over and giving me a super chat as well. I really appreciate all of you. This is going to be a great year for this channel. We're going to do a lot of great things over here. I'm going to keep pushing the envelope of content, visual effects, giving you a professional show. But let's continue with what the brother is saying.
But anyway, I just was like, wow. And later on, about a month later, somebody told me that happened to them, and they said Cat Williams was in the audience. And I put two and two together and was like, wow, he did that to me then. He never tell you, he never makes it known or any of that. So if you ever around him, ask him. If you ever around him, ask him, how much money have you just given away? And
wow.
Information is power.
Everybody, I want to thank you for coming out. Unfortunately, I've run out of time. I was going to put a link out to have someone come on or some people come up board and talk to me more about this issue. But I'm also broadcasting into Roku, so I'm at my cutoff point for that. So I'm going to have to end the podcast. I think I've done as much as I could on the issue. I believe I've covered as much as I could. And a lot of this stuff, a lot of you know, very intelligent people that follow this channel. I'm sure you guys have been looking at videos on YouTube. I'm sure a lot of stuff that I showed you, some of you have seen some of this stuff, but I wanted to put it together in a nice package to round everything out. I also want to say, I want to say this. There's a YouTube channel that I've told you all about called The Therapy Show. And two of the brothers on that show, Kev and Carl, are comedians. They've been around they are comedians. I'm going to go over to their channel and maybe check out what they're doing over there right now. But I think they're going to be talking about this issue today. If they're not already talking about it right now, these are two brothers on the panel and a sister. She's a great sister. But those two brothers in particular, one of them, Kev, he was on Comic View. They're in the comedic game. They've been around these guys. And they told me on a panel a few weeks ago, I said, why is it that the black comedians can't get along with each other? And they said straight up, there's a problem with black comedians working together and getting along. And it all goes back to the fact that in general, black people in general, let me correct this. Some black people, not all black people in general, sometimes just can't work together because there's a lot of self-hate going on there. And a lot of it comes out of when you don't like yourself, then it manifests itself in how you treat people who look just like you as well. So we have a lot of issues. I got to be honest. We've got mental health issues that we're in denial of. We're in denial of a lot of social ills that we deal with. That is why you see the professional comedians hating on one another, because a lot of them are coming into this entertainment game with their mental health problems, their stress problems, their unresolved issues, their misplaced anger that they project onto other people, the jealousy and the envy, all of this stuff that a lot of our people, or some of our people, struggle with is one of our problems. It's sad to say, but it has to be said. You can also catch this program on all the different social medias. I have a Facebook page, The Information Man Show. You can go over there and check that out. I'm on Instagram. I still call it Twitter. I'm on Twitter. And of course, I'm on YouTube, as you can see right there. So as I go into my my rant here, wow. I want to thank everybody out there for supporting this channel. Make sure you share this channel on all of your social media, all of it, your community tab, your content creator. And I also want to say to Me and I want to thank Me and I. Yesterday, they had a reward show. I got nominated as Best Live Stream. The brothers of X Entertainment, they won the award. I want to give them a shout out. X Entertainment. Check them out. Hey, it didn't matter whether I won or not. What matter is I got nominated, and two, it was a really professional show that they put on. They had the actual uploaded video of the rewards that were put out. It was very professionally done. Then they had the after show, and I talked to my man over there, Me and I talked to them, and I think next year what I'm going to do is really promote that Black YouTube Award show across this platform.
I also told them my goal is to fly out to Atlanta, Georgia, and be there with them when they have their after show. So there's a lot of things I've got to do. I'm going to promote it heavily. I think it was great. I don't care about whether I win. I'm more concerned about how they're building a great community over there, and they're bringing black people together through the award show, and everybody's supportive of one another. I'm just very happy that they nominated me. It shows me that people recognize what I'm doing over here. Now, a lot of what I do is hard hitting, and it's a required taste. But I want to thank Me and I, and there are Me and I awards, and all the people who won those awards. Yesterday, they put on a great production. I got to clap it up again. With that said, everybody, I've got to get out of here. I really appreciate you, all of you that are here. So let's move this up here and let's get on out. Peace.
Gotta watch my crown, cause from birth I've been royal, and that's from the sun. Yeah.
One, two, three. Peace, everybody. Y'all take care. I appreciate you.
Time's been moving slowly, so we already in too deep. Can't get no sleep on each other, heavy teasing all day. And when the sun sets, you asking me to come through, kick it with you. Night turning to morning dew. Then you got the key to the lock, we in our own zone. Make yourself at home, get to know mine on the inside. You can meet at yours next time. And you feel it freshening, lose control. You don't wanna go slow, for sure. We both already know your place is my place now. Places like I do. My place like you do. Just pulled up to the house, don't feel like getting out. I'ma just lay back and crack this window. I've been doing my best, taking a moment Get away from me, 'cause I've been working all day. Can a nigga catch a break? Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can keep your bitter. I'ma make a better way. Hey, hey. Already got the world on me. Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can keep your bitter. I'ma make a better way. Hey, hey.
Tell the truth.
Better way. Oh,
Tell the truth.
Mom and dad's only daughter. Do I make you proud? Writing my life in lyrics. Do you like the sound? Seeking approval constantly. You did that. Yeah, you crossed the line about 1,000 times and I did that. Yeah, I stayed a while, tried to make it right. Cigarette. No, I never smoked, but my heart is broke, explosive. Stressing for that old thing back. That initial love, all the goosebumps, those flutters in my gut, turn into disgust. What a waste of love, babe. I just wanna go back to how it was. Lay in each other's arms all day. Send me gifts just because. Tell me where we went wrong. Started out as homies, ended up as lovers. How'd it get so ugly? Can't we rediscover, baby, what it was? Or let's be honest, it was just a lover. You were so romantic, we were picture perfect. So much freaking passion, why we never got it back, baby?
Ladies and gentlemen,
Tell the truth.
definitely tell the truth.
Information is power.
This is on the loudspeaker. I want everybody to check out Miss She Said. Miss She Said is in my chat room. This sister has a dynamic channel. I want you all to check her channel out, subscribe, give her support. Ladies and men, you're going to dig the things that she say. Now, she tells the truth. She holds ladies accountable, men accountable for how we need to conduct ourselves as a family, as a community. She talks about a lot of the issues that are going on, the real issues, relationships, our kids, some of the stuff that you see in the popular social media with some of the nonsense, the twerking, some of the nonsense that you see with our young people. And she keeps it 100% real. And at some point in time, I'm hoping that I can get her, or both her and her husband, on together to interview them on these issues that she talks about on her channel. I have a lot of respect for her, and we'll mod you up on the channel here, because I go over and I watch and I admire how you run your channel, how you talk about hard-hitting issues that our community needs to be very concerned about. And with that said, thank you, everybody.
Tell the truth.